start out. I want to start out by shouting out Killico, who 10 hours ago gifted 10 subs out of nowhere. I wasn't even streaming. I appreciate that. Or was I? Was I streaming? No, I'm pretty sure the stream was over by then. So shout out Killico. Oh, it absolutely was. The fuck am I talking about? It was the middle of the night. Thank you, Killico, for the gifted subs. So real quick, I wanna, not necessarily a business meeting sort of deal like you would with the quartering or DSP, but more like me telling you guys about an epiphany I had about content I've been making, because it's been, well, let me do this, like, spoiler alert, I am getting involved in like YouTube, not just like making documentaries for MikeynohMore off of, you know, YouTube, but also other content on YouTube who I may be assisting. I may be assisting certain YouTubers who you may say, hey, that guy sounds a lot like, no, you're wrong. I don't have a YouTube account. I'm not on YouTube because I'm not allowed there. So of course I wouldn't have a channel there. So that's preposterous. But anyway, while making content for this other individual on YouTube who isn't me, it made me realize, I won't say that I've been stuck because I did make a lot of progress. I actually burned through like 2 scripts. I had like 2 separate, I'm on script number 3 for this one. And I had to go through the first 2 and they were mostly finished. I researched them and I got footage for them and everything. And I just stopped short of, you know, getting into the software to start editing shit. And it's because I realized something, like I underestimated what it takes to make a YouTube video in a different sort of format. Because my format that I was doing, it was like drama, video, essay, documentary type shit. But at the same time, I had a certain style, and that style, and it's like everything, not just in the humor, not just in the pacing, not just in the scripting, the research, the everything, the sort of topics that I was picking, the niche that I built for myself, all that, it took me around 3 years. I want to say it took me like 3 years to develop that style, that format that I had. The system was I was gradually trying to modify it here and there, but the system was basically made after, you know, by the time I was about to make, I don't even know, was it 30,000 subs I was about to get to? I forget. But anyway, so I started you go back to a new format, completely new format in a completely new lane. And it's like, well, damn, I don't know, like, what am I just going to emulate something? And that's what it felt like when I was making the first script for the first video. I don't know, maybe I'll put them on Gumroad or something, these old scripts I made for these new videos I'm gonna make, so you guys can see what the process was, because I started realizing I sound too much like this guy, or I sound too much like that guy, or, you know, I don't even like the direction this is going in. And I don't know, it's difficult because I never had that problem when I was doing videos for my other channel. After a while, you do something for a couple years, you make several documentaries, and it's like, obviously, you know, you got to do the research and everything, but it's like, I know the style in the format of what I wanted to do. And it's like, I'm almost feel like I'm having to start from scratch again, which is cool. It's interesting in another way to have to relearn a new skill, right? It's like Floyd Mayweather. I'm comparing myself to one of the greatest boxers. But no, it's like, I'm like Floyd Mayweather. I'm like Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I was knocking niggas out. And then I ended up busting my hands. And I'm like, God damn, I can't be in the ring just trying to put dudes out in the canvas anymore. My hands are going to break. So I have to develop a whole new style around the Philly shell and, you know, just dominating unanimous decision after unanimous decision every now and again. I can't be a knockout artist anymore. I got to figure out a new way to dominate in the ring. And that's kind of like me in a much, much, much more modest YouTuber since. I'm having to redevelop my style in a new way. So, you know, I can not get knocked the fuck out because the hands are busted. So yeah, that was the epiphany I had about content. Making content is fun. That's the thing, right? It's like, no matter what, even if I could never monetize a YouTube channel ever again, I'm never going to stop making YouTube videos because, I don't know, this shit is fun. It's the most fun I've ever had doing anything ever. Like, I would put it up there, top three. Like, what's better? What's better than making YouTube videos? Maybe sex, and I guess it depends on who. Like, you really gotta like the person. You really gotta like the girl, and like, she really gotta know how to put it down right for it to be better than making a good YouTube video. Making a good YouTube video when you're in the zone, you're in the mode, watching people react to it, watching people enjoy it. That's a very, very pleasurable, euphoric thing for me. Yes, women are people. I notice some people are confused. Women are people. Look, bro, I've been watching this Lindsay Clancy drama go down, Mikey, and I'm not sure if women are people anymore. I think they might all be witches, or at least a good chunk of them are. But no, a lot of women still are people, believe it or not. So Mikey No More, complete-ish edition. Become a Neat Ronin for $10. Get access to all the archive of the old content on Mikey No More, plus the VODs, plus the new VODs that are all being archived in here, plus the new videos. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put, because here's the thing, right? I put the videos from the new YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel on here. Well, one, that guy might have a problem with me stealing his content and putting it on my Gumroad. The other thing is, I don't know, somebody might use that as evidence that, oh, YouTube, Mikey is ban evading. Look, he's putting that content on the Gumroad. Obviously, that means that he and that other guy are the same person. Why else would he put it there? So I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so the EDP documentary. The EDP documentary hit, and I thought it was pretty fucking good. A lot of people thought it was good. Some people have complaints, right? Some people, some humans, if you want to call it that, some Homo sapiens, if you want to stretch the definition, said that it was actually kind of offensive and it actually enabled EDP. I don't know how you could watch this fucking video, how you could watch this documentary and come away with any thought other than EDP made himself look like an even bigger piece of shit than we even thought before. We already knew he was a pedophilic piece of shit, but no, he's actually subhuman at a level we weren't even, like, it's crazy, bro. Bro should really be underneath the earth. I don't even know if we should do that, because then he would have to, that'd be unfair to the groundhogs and shit. So some people had a problem because Mike Clum let EDP make jokes, and he didn't spend the entire documentary just like badgering, beating over these people basically wanted Mike Clum to spend a good chunk of this documentary beating us over the head with the idea that EDP is bad, EDP bad, pedophilia bad, EDP bad because he's a pedophile, as if we didn't already know that before we even started watching the documentary. We just have to keep doing. This is why leftist memes. This is really going to get into it when we talk about Dead Domain. Dead Domain, spoiler alert. Dead Domain jump scare. Dead Domain has this thing where it made me realize why a lot of leftist memes are so bad. Because it's not enough to make the joke. You have to make sure that your political opinion and your moral stances are all perfectly, that they're like coherent. You got to make sure that people know your politics and your moral stances while you're also making the meme. You can't just do the punchline. You can't just get to the joke. This is why they can't cut anything. They can never cut text because it's like, oh, that misses the joke. I can't put my politics in if I just focus on the punchline or some shit like that. Unless it's making fun of Charlie Kirk getting murdered. For some reason, leftists suddenly understand how to like just get to the punchline when it comes down to making fun of Charlie Kirk getting assassinated on, I guess not public television. Well, I guess it was on public television because they showed it enough time on Fox News and all these other places and whatnot. So that's the only time when they don't, I don't know, they understand what brevity is, when they can just celebrate Charlie Kirk getting killed in front of his own family. Anyway, so this is I Hate Everything TV. I'm pretty sure he had a podcast with Your Movie Sucks. Yeah, he had a podcast with Your Movie Sucks and I Hate Everything. He's been around for a long while. Is this his original channel? This is his second channel. His second channel. Where's his original channel? His original channel, bro has been online for a very long time. He's been a YouTuber for a long while. 2013. 2013, bro. Oh my God. Was this really his first video? His first video was really I Hate PewDiePies.
Okay, maybe I don't hate PewDiePie specifically. I guess I hate some. Yes, some, not all.
Man, his voice was gay and lispy. Granted, this was like 2013. So he was probably a teenager when he started making this content. So, you know, maybe that's the reason why. I'm kind of jealous of niggas like this, low-key. I'm kind of jealous of the niggas who started making YouTube videos when they were little teeny boppers. Like literally they were still in middle school. That's when they started making YouTube videos. Unlike me, started doing it. Fucking boomer ass Mikey started making YouTube videos in his 20s and shit. Anyway, let's hear why he doesn't like the Mike Clum documentary.
What is up, everybody? This is Alex from HETV, and today I'm talking about the Mike Clum documentary, The Sick Mind of EDP 445. This is his second documentary uploaded to YouTube after The Dark Sad Life of Boogie 2988, and unlike the one on Boogie, where I actually know who Boogie is and have actually spoken to him before, I went into this knowing nothing about EDP 445.
How are there people like okay, I can understand somebody who isn't terminally online or who doesn't do content creation or stuff like that, not knowing who EDP is. How do you not know who EDP 445 is? This dude literally, he had memes. Some of his videos got cameos on TV. Like there were fucking sports channels and comedy shows that were showing clips of him doing his little fucking sports rants and shit like that. Bro was actually pretty popular for a while. And then when the cupcake shit happened, that shit was a viral thing. How do you not know anything about EDP? I hate everything. I hate everything, but I don't know anything either.
Probably for the better. And it's interesting to talk about because, I mean, everyone's watching it. It's hugely successful already, despite this idea that it's being repressed and YouTube is limiting its visibility and all this. And, you know, maybe it should. Like, I think there's something quite...
You should be censored, said the British man, unironically.
Responsible.
Classic British opinion. You know, this should be censored. This should be shut down.
About this video, there is a different...
No offense to any of the British dudes who are watching my stream or watch my content. You guys are cool.
Of fish.
You guys are the cool bongs. You're trapped there on, you know, 1984 island.
To the Boogie one. Let's start with some positives. The production value is extremely high for a drama slop video, essentially. This is easily as well made as the true crime bullshit on...
What isn't drama slop? Like, he says drama... If this documentary is drama slop, then what is drama quality? What is drama gem? If this video is drama slop, then I want to know what drama gem looks like to you.
Netflix and a lot of sloppumentaries that are being made at the moment. And so what bugs me about this that didn't bug me about the Boogie one? Well, the Boogie stuff and the mistakes he's made sit in a different pocket to the EDP thing. I think we can agree on that. Lying about cancer and crypto rug pulls is one thing, but this is about being a child predator, essentially. And I don't think Mike Clum has the finesse to navigate this topic in a responsible way.
What would be the finesse? What would that look like? The finesse to navigate. First off, again, very ironic coming from a British nigga. Like this, like this should be suppressed. This video, making fun of a pedophile, because this is like the video is literally called "The Sick Mind of EDP 445." This video is disparaging EDP, and he just agreed to do it anyway. So I want to know, Mr. from Jimmy Seville got away with it island. We got all these Muslim pedophiles. We're just gonna pretend. I know this isn't, you know, I can't talk. I come from the USA, United States of, you know, just let the Epstein niggas get away with it. Right? We're all, the whole Anglosphere has it, doesn't really have a leg to stand on with this. But what do you mean by finesse?
Way that feels very productive and kind of is ironic with how it's using the subject matter to give it an air of importance in the same way that these predator catcher channels that have gotten exceedingly more popular in the past 5 years or so, which are using a dark, disgusting, serious issue to kind of posture that they're doing something about it because it gets everyone so upset and enraged, like rightfully. So what it means is that opportunists can jump in, and he's saying that he's, you know, giving all the proceeds.
So I guess it's just the tone. The tone isn't somber enough. The tone is, I don't know, which I never understood this sort of, I never understood these sorts of arguments because I'm a very results-based guy. Because my thing is, I think that Alex Rosen is 100% a retard, but I can't disagree. I mean, I can't just ignore the fact that he has managed to get some dudes off the streets. He has managed to work with police. Now, he doesn't understand the best with optics, and he did fuck up his initial case that he had against EDP, which might be salvaged now thanks to Mr. Mike Clum. In his documentary, he might see the inside of a cage before he dies of cancer, EDP, thanks to Mike Clum coming in with the last minute clutch before the statute or whatever dried up on whether or not he could even be charged for this shit or not. But like, I can't deny the fact that a dude like Alex Rosen has been successful at getting dudes off the street, despite the fact that he has been doing it in a very tabloidish way. Like, who cares if he doesn't take it as seriously as he should? He's getting pedophiles put in jail.
The documentary to a non-profit, and while that may be true, one, I don't really understand his funding model at all, how he's able to commit so much time. I don't know if he has like a job on the side or what.
I hate a video. I hate everything has a video about his love for Star Wars, and he gets emotional about all the Star Wars criticisms.
He's doing, and also I highly doubt this video is monetized. I don't know how that would be possible considering some of its contents. But let's not pretend that this isn't self-serving first and foremost at the top of the pyramid. Like, everyone knows it's Mike Clum. People talk about it using his name.
Who cares, bro? Like, I hate this bullshit, man. I hate this idea that if you do something that results in a net positive for society or community or whatever, it doesn't matter because you didn't do it for the right reasons. This is one of the main arguments that, say, socialists or tankies have against capitalists. Because who cares? Who cares if a for-profit, organization does more good than a non-profit charity does? Who cares if they actually manage to deliver more blankets and more food to starving African children with no beds? Who cares? They're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it to make a quick buck. Okay. But they managed to do more good than if they weren't doing it for money. Like, who cares if their reasons weren't virtuous?
It is ultimately, at the end of the day, getting attention to Mike Clum, using something fucked up and evil to build up a brand.
It's like, let's say I'm a leftist, right? Let's say I was a super fucking progressive, and then I found out about the Kyle Rittenhouse shit, and I was like, oh my god, that fucking chud killed people. What the fuck did he do that for? He's a monster. They're out here trying to kill us. And then I learned that Kyle, miraculously, all three of the people he shot happened to be a felon who was carrying a gun when he wasn't supposed to, a dude who beat his wife, and a pedophile. And then I'm like, oh, well, okay, I still think he's a chud and he shouldn't have been there. But the people he all shot and killed were all pieces of shit. So it's kind of a net positive, right? It's that sort of logic. who cares if you didn't do it for reasons I think aren't righteous? You still resulted in a net positive for the world.
A name, even though the documentary on its face is making out and trying to show different sides of the
Yeah, it's exactly like the Mr. Beast shit. Like everyone's like, oh, Jimmy's just doing this because he wants to make money. He's just doing it for views. Okay, he built an entire village he built a village complete with a fucking well that had fresh water for some poor African town. What the fuck do I care he did it for a village for? Like, their government doesn't do that much for him.
kind of predator catching space and what is right or wrong with it. And while
Mr. Beast found a way to monetize like being Jesus, and people got mad at him for it.
I say this more for the Boogie one.
How dare you make money while doing things that Jesus would approve of? Fucking start feeding children and putting roofs over people's heads. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Where I was more like, this is cool that something of this kind of quality is being put on YouTube for everyone to watch for free. It's not behind a paywall of any kind. It does, unfortunately, give you the out of like, well, it's just a YouTube video. So when you're getting to irrelevant cameos from like Boogie, like why is Boogie in this outside of the fact that he was in the other documentary? Why is this asshole in there? And why are they making Chris Chan jokes in the content of the documentary?
This is the thing. See, if this was the main thing that these dudes went at, the Chris Chan shit, then I would 100% understand why they were doing that. Because Chris Chan objectively, like when you really think about it, Chris Chan did objectively do something worse than EDP. Because while EDP is a pedophile and he, solicited, CP from children, and he also sent his shit and his dick to minors, shit that's heinous and shit that I hope he goes to prison for. Chris Chan raped his mother. He raped his riddled mother, like literally, and he got away with it. And Mike Clum put him in his documentary. Literal granny mother incest rapist, Chris Chan. He should not be in his documentary. I don't know if Mike Clum didn't know the lore. He didn't know that this dude is a grandma mommy fucker, right? Literal motherfucker, Chris Chan. I don't know if he's not aware of that. But yeah, he actually is as bad, worse than EDP, because EDP never got the chance to rape somebody.
True. Tonally, that just doesn't make sense. How serious the subject matter is, it doesn't match like the Boogie one. It's fucked up. Like the impression I'm kind of getting from Mike Clum is that he's kind of buddy with it.
It was funny. It was funny, but it was like, it was the one joke in the documentary where I'm like, okay, Mike Clum, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man?
A few different.
You can't fucking put Chris Chan in the anti-pedophile documentary, dude. This dude, he's a rapist. You put a rapist, elderly abuse rapist in your documentary about trying to put a pedophile in prison. You can't do that, bro.
YouTubers, that is some of the connective tissue and explain some of the random appearances like Keemstar and Boogie towards the end. Like, is this a documentary or is this a YouTube video? You can't really be...
It's both. It's on YouTube. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude is just being anal.
Both. You can't...
Is this a documentary or is this It's a documentary on YouTube. The fuck are you talking about?
Claims to be one when you're actually the other. It's not on the same level, but it reminds me a little bit of when Shane Dawson was making those quote-unquote...
Oh, you know what, Razmaz? That's a good point. Maybe Mike did this to butter Chris Chan up, so he can do the that would be amazing, bro. Imagine a year or two from now, we get the Chris Chan documentary, and then like Josh Moon turns up. He interviews Josh Moon. Josh shows up in the fucking documentary.
Documentaries when they were just...
I mean, you kind of have to. If you're interviewing people, if you're going to do interviews like he likes to do with these people in these documentaries, he's going to have to put Josh in there. Like, you can't not. He's like he's the top, well, he's not the top Christian. He's like, well, first off, the poo touching rule that Josh has, he completely flagrantly broke that like multiple times concerning Chris Chan. And it kind of blew up in his face because he was in the middle of doing something for Chris, like helping Chris like start up a fund so he can like monetize his shit and go on vacation certain places, and then the story about him raping his mom broke, and it's like, oh,
YouTube videos, which are basically just highly edited vlogs in the end. I don't know, I'd like to see some kind of follow-up explaining the intent, how this was made and funded, what he thought he was achieving by including sections of EDP being like, yeah, God save me, man. It just feels like it's designed to be crude entertainment that you kind of point and laugh at, with the more YouTube video feeling of it being like just these random appearances, like Oompaville's in there, Moist Critical. It's very weird and really loses its shape towards the end.
Who else are they gonna like, he already interviewed the prominent people. There aren't a lot of people you can interview concerning EDP. He never knew his dad. His mom is dead. He's been a virgin. I think he still might be a virgin. No, he had sex once. He said he had sex once, and he said it was with, he said it was like, what did he say? He said it was like fucking a Brillo pad. So like the worst pussy ever. What it was is probably like he fucked the prostitute, and she thought he was so disgusting she couldn't get wet. Right? Like she couldn't even try. Like she would have had to lube up the pussy first. It wasn't going to happen on autopilot. This dude had no... It wasn't even like, I don't know, when women get raped and the pussy gets wet, like almost like, you know, it's like built-in software. It didn't even do that. No reaction at all to anything that EDP was trying to put in her. It was the worst pussy ever and probably scared him away from ever trying to have sex with a woman for real, unless she was underage. So, like, there are not a whole lot of people you can interview concerning EDP.
What's the focus here? Do we need a whole segment on EDP sending Mike Clum shit pics?
It was funny.
The more I'm thinking about this,
yes,
the more
we
I'm talking
did.
about this, the more it's kind of pissing
That was high quality. That was a high quality segment.
me off. And
Also, it was only like a minute long. It's like a minute or two out of the entire documentary. Like 2 minutes out of this an hour and a half long documentary.
Even though the production value is extremely high, it, like a lot of documentaries do, has reenactments and actors playing characters. A lot of them are children, and it's very weird and frankly unnecessary. Like, they have babies, they have kids. It's weird, man. And frankly,
what is he talking about? What is he It's weird. It's weird that you got actors to play the role in the documentary that EDP can't play because, one, he's a fat middle-aged adult version of himself now. Two, EDP wasn't gonna act for him or do any well, I guess he did act at the end where he put on the prison jumper and he started digging his own grave and shit. So maybe he could have done it. But it's like, what are you talking about, man?
Isn't confrontational enough and just seems to be acting like a platform to give him a voice.
Also, the young dude who did the EDP acting, first off, he was very good. He played the role of an obese loser, incel, on the verge of turning into a pedophile. He did that very well. You know, no offense to the brother. I just think he's a good actor. I hope he gets some better roles in this. Maybe like a nice little backup role in maybe a movie or a TV show or something like that in the future.
It's like, was he paid for this? I really hope not. EDP, I mean. But also, it's like, why would you even agree to do this?
Mikey, do you think LeBron went to Philly because he is friends and a fan of EDP and thinks that type of thing is is legal in Philadelphia? I don't know about that. I don't even think he would know who EDP is.
Out of him just being like a dumbass. I also found it quite ironic when Hansen showed up and he was like, oh, all these YouTubers, they're just doing it for attention and clicks. And it's like, what? So you're just doing it out of the goodness of your heart?
That was the point of including him. Somebody in the documentary literally pointed that out. Like, it's weird that Hansen says this about us when he does the same thing that we do. Like, all of the complaint. Did he even watch the documentary? Like, what is this, dude?
Like, you weren't doing that for attention as well? Because it was a hugely successful TV show.
This is the effort, right? Because it's like, this is why I don't really take film or TV analysis from YouTube niggas seriously. Because the mentality, the analysis this dude has of this documentary is the same, like, degree of analysis you see on the average YouTube critic has when it comes to like a movie, a fucking TV show, a game. I think that game critics on YouTube are actually better, a lot better actually, than the dudes who just, you know, watch movies and TV shows and something. There's something about interactive media that requires you to have like a higher level of taste and better at, like, you know, better at distinguishing things and whatnot.
It's what, just
It's the reason why the worst critics are the people who, I don't know, it's people like Dark Viper AU, who he really loves the movie games, which is like Grand Theft Auto is the least movie game he plays, because Grand Theft Auto actually has a lot of gameplay and stuff in it, and it's not just you watching cutscenes and watching cinematics and shit like that. But a lot of the movie game niggas, I'll say this, we make fun of the Gun and Ballers. Gun and Ballers objectively better than the cinematic movie game niggas, because at least Gun and Ball niggas like to play video games. They only play like 3 or 4 video games, but they still play games.
More legitimate because it was on television. To illustrate what I mean and give a counterexample of a documentary that actually handles the subject matter, very similar subject matter, with the gravitas and tonal consistency that it deserves, the 2020 film Caught in the Net is how you do it. It doesn't have Chris Chan memes in it. It doesn't have...
So every documentary on this shit has to be the same? Every documentary has to have the same tone. It has to be just as serious as ever. Because here's the thing, right? Number one, EDP has never raped the child. If he actually raped the child, the tone of the documentary would have been completely different. He did still do heinous shit, but like no child was molested. Like the only person who raped somebody was ironically Christian. Like the only rapist in the entire documentary was the dude at the very, very end of the shit. So like having it didn't need to. Mike Clum has, because of that, he has like the breathing room to add some levity to this documentary. EDP is like more, he's very lolcow. He's very lolcow centered. EDP. This is basically a lolcow documentary with some serious subject matter and high production value behind it is what it is. So it wouldn't even make sense to say, oh, it should be more about this. Well, it's not like that, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Fucking Keemstar showing up. There is something to be said about the exploitation online.
Yes, he is. He is Your Movie Sucks' his boy. I'm pretty sure they have a podcast together.
And how vulnerable it makes children. But the
guy who was, I don't know if he fucked animals, but he did defend it before. And the argument for it is because he said this thing where nobody has been able to tell me why bestiality is evil while eating animals is fine. And it's like, it was the most retarded thing ever, because the argument could easily be defeated. It was very easy to defeat an argument like that, because the reason why we have laws against bestiality, but we don't have laws against eating meat, is that one, we need to eat meat. I mean, I guess technically you could be vegan. You could be vegetarian. If a human child doesn't have meat in some part of its diet, it's going to grow up neutrally. It's going to grow up like deficient in something, and it's going to impact their growth. You can see that in countries that have gradually changed their diets before, right? Like in Korea, how much taller are Koreans compared to earlier generations? Over the past century, South Koreans have experienced one of the most dramatic increases in human height ever recorded globally. South Korean women grew by nearly 8 inches, and South Korean men grew by about 6 inches. Why did this happen? Nutrition. Rapid economic modernization brought a massive increase in daily caloric intake and animal protein consumption. So, right, like if you feed your child a vegan diet, I guess technically you could, disregarding mother's milk. Let's say you just went vegetarian. Your child is going to grow up to be weaker, smaller, all that other shit. Probably also lower IQ as well. There's been things that have shown that like eating those sorts of eating a vegan diet, definitely, it does impact like a child's cognitive development and shit like that. Like kids need meat. They can decide what they want to do after they become, I don't know, in their late teens or adult or whatever. But growing up in the developmental stages, they need meat and meat products to grow effectively. So the reason why we have laws that forbid people from fucking animals, but we don't forbid people from eating meat, is because A, children and humans in general need meat products. Two, the type of person, first off, you're raping the animal. It's like, it is rape. You are raping. Nobody ever, let's say you're, if you have sex with a severely autistic woman, right? Let's say like a potato, like the type of woman that JF Garapi would be into. People would say that you're a piece of shit. People would say you're evil. People would say you're taking advantage of somebody with the mentality of a child, maybe a smart child, maybe like a 7 or 8 year old, but you are fucking somebody mentally with the brain of a kid. But fucking fur fags, right? They're like, your movie sucks. They'll say shit like, oh, well, you know, animals can consent. Well, I mean, technically a child can consent. Technically, you can get a 12 or 13-year-old to say yes to a sex act. That doesn't mean it's not rape, because that is a child, and children can actually fucking consent to having sex with adults, even if they think they can, right? Like, we understand this as adults, but fur fags don't. Also, the type of person who would fuck a goat, fuck a cow, fuck a horse, fuck a dog, or whatever, is just a disgusting, subhuman, anti-social piece of shit that you don't want walking around in society. We need people like that. It's like people who torture animals, because it is a form of torture. Like, you are like probably going to be a serial killer, and we got to put you somewhere. Maybe not in a prison, but we got to put you somewhere. We can't just have you around here with regular human beings who don't fuck dogs.
The documentary does a shitty job exploring it in a non-sensationalized or unchallenged kind of way. A lot of the runtime are testimonials from EDP talking about his relationships, or lack thereof, and how much of a porn addict he is. And I get what it's nudging at, what it's trying to say, or what it's going for, but Mike Clum is not—
You know, actually, that's a very good point, your buddy Brady. It's like, why don't you fuck a bear, bro? Why don't you go fuck a tiger? You never hear about a dude going out there in fucking lions. I never hear about a dude going out there in fucking jaguars or bison or anything. They always fuck domestic animals or small animals that can't fight back. Very interesting.
Not Louis Theroux. He is—
It's like when women have postpartum psychosis and they go crazy and they just conveniently only kill people who, you know, can't fight back against them, like small children. They never try and strangle their husbands. For some reason, they just try. Maybe they'll get a knife and try and run them off, but they'll never try and fight the husband. They know better.
It's
like a dude who goes crazy and he just coincidentally goes crazy against a defenseless woman, or a dude who's smaller than him. Never goes crazy against a dude who's twice his size. He kind of knows better.
Acknowledged similar subject matter before, and kind of like Clum, going for more of a humanistic angle of trying to explain the history of these people.
You know, it's the thing with that nigga who stabbed the Ukrainian girl on the bus. You know, he went crazy. There were all these other people on the bus. For some reason, one person who he went after wasn't any of the niggas who were sitting on the bus near him. No, it was the one white girl who wouldn't have been able to fight back against them and didn't have a gun or anything like that.
All the hows and whys, and looking at them as individuals. But Louis understands how to navigate that kind of subject matter with as much grace as you can. And I know it's just going to get way more clicks when it has a subject like EDP at the forefront.
Honestly, a dude who would try and like jump into a tiger enclosure to try and fuck one of the tigers, I actually don't think we should put a dude like that in prison. We should 100% put that dude in some sort of facility, right? He should have a handler or something to look after him, because something is wrong. He is a freak, right? Because he wants to fuck tigers, but like he's genuinely insane, because, you know, otherwise he would have settled for just like a large house cat. He was like, nah, I need a big boy. I need something that's gonna bite back. I don't care if I risk my life.
But I think maybe if he just focused on the predator catchers themselves and how they fuck up investigations and are basically responsible for him never getting any criminal justice, which is part of the doc, but feels very odd juxtaposed against the sense of humor it has and these weird comedy bits with EDP with a notepad talking about why he loves Andrew Tate and this kind of thing. The through line is very messy and unfocused. And I just think he made a mistake with how he handled this subject matter. And basically no one who's featured in this winds up looking good at all, including Mike Clum, everybody. And while I obviously think there's a great injustice to the abuse of children in this fucking awful world, I don't think Vigilantes and Gideon, fucking Vitally, Skeeter Jean.
Do you think any of those people were supposed to look good? Like, do you not understand? I kind of understand where some of the leftists come from, some of the leftoids, when they're like, you don't have media literacy. You just didn't get it. I kind of do feel what they're saying on some degree, because this dude obviously didn't get it, because he's like saying, nobody was in this documentary came out looking good. Do you think that Mike Clum wanted Skeeter Jean or Gideon or even fucking Chris Hansen? You think he wanted any of those people to come out here looking good? Do you think that was the point of this? Oh yeah, this proves that fucking vigilante pedo hunters are great. Just look at how Alex Rosen and Gideon and Skeeter Jean fucked up the case twice.
Sneeko are the people we want being vigilantes, who are, let's be honest, using this first and foremost.
Yes, slop content creator complaining about a high-end documentary.
For themselves.
Feels like projection.
It's the perfect combination of a subject matter that gets massive engagement mixed with this moral justification. Some of you might remember Mama Max, another YouTuber who claimed to be doing a similar thing, also wound up being an opportunist, using the darkest...
comparing Mama Max to fucking Mike Clum. Dude, this nigga is so disingenuous, bro. So disingenuous. Mama Max is like the big... Mama Max is an actual lol cow. Right? Like he was always full of it, always full of shit, literally making up claims, just making up bullshit.
Subject matter.
Multiple documentaries about Mama Max being, honestly, I would say he's a bigger lol cow than a lot of people we call lol cows.
To encourage a fan base to feel like they're doing something or being productive, and just happening to have a hugely successful Patreon off the back of it, at the time anyway. And kind of has an open-ended ending, like he still could be charged, right? That's what would be right. And you have to ask yourself, is this documentary helping in any way?
Ooh, yeah, that didn't age well. That didn't age well. Oh shit, a lot can happen in 8 days, huh? I hate everything. A lot can happen.
Is this not just sick Coliseum level entertainment at the expense of someone disgusting and evil? I don't know, this feels trend chasing. It's a disappointing follow-up to the Boogie one, and I hope he picks a different subject, because even though he had...
See, here's the thing, I felt like the Boogie documentary was more slop than this video was. Like, I thought the Boogie documentary was good, but it did feel more like the slop-umentary sort of, lol cow documentary we're used to, but it just had like higher production value. This one felt like, I don't know, it had a lot more substance to it. Obviously, Mike Clum, good cinematography and all that shit, especially by drama tuber documentarian standards. The fucking DSP documentary probably would have been Kino if Phil hadn't bitched out of it.
There's therapists in there and professionals giving their testimonials. It's not enough. You can't just have the veneer of professionalism with the production value kind of giving you this impression that it is. Dude,
a JF documentary would be like, I don't even know if JF would agree to that. He might. He might actually. JF actually might agree to do a documentary with Mike Clum, because he's so arrogant about it. Because I think there was this one stream where JF was talking to, I think it was James Fishback's ex-wife, his crazy ex-wife, and this bitch was talking to Groypers, right? And she was also talking to JF, and JF likes to make jokes about, oh, you killed your wife. He's like, haha, yes, I killed my wife, yes. He's very brazen about it. He's very brazen about making the dead potato masher joke. So maybe he will. Like, he likes getting away with it. He likes the idea that he'll never be caught ever.
It's more, oh my god, giving you this impression that it is more important and serious and legitimate than what its actual backbone is, which is effectively a drama slop video.
Nick Diorio came into R2's chat the other day and asked if he would be interested in doing a Clum doc, and Rich responded, really?
video, of which there are already hundreds of, to do with EDP. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the documentary. Do you think it does a good job at shining a light on this subject matter? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the next.
Anyway, that didn't age well. That aged very, very poorly in a very short amount of time. Just goes to show you how good this guy is at criticizing media. Immediately, his claim on something just completely became irrelevant. Let me see. Some of you guys may know who Dead Domain is. My first exposure to Dead Domain is they made that one video. They made that one video on Synthetic Man, right? Hold on, what was it? What was that fucking... We've only talked about Synthetic Man once on this... No, we've talked about... I think I've talked about Synthetic Man maybe 3 times. One time was people telling me, Mikey, Synthetic Man is a lolcow. And I'm like, okay, I know where you guys are coming from. I don't know if he's like lolcow tier yet. I do know that he whines a lot. He whines a lot, but like he's always been whining a lot. That's kind of his thing. It's kind of part of his brand is that he whines. And I'm not going to lie, some of his gaming takes, I don't disagree with a lot of them, some of them. And another time, let's see, what was the other time? We were talking, oh, it was a Skitty Bitty. It's back when we were covering that Skitty Bitty drama, and Skitty Bitty had a clip of Synthetic Man, and the clip was only like 30 seconds long, but it was him talking about Fudas and Legend of Zelda. So, of course, the one clip of Synthetic Man in this fucking video would be of him talking to Fudas.
But people are desperate to...
Damn, 2.5 hours. What could you possibly say? What could you possibly say? Miserable, lonely mind of a YouTube Nazi incel. Holy smorgasbord of buzzwords. YouTube Nazi incel.
Take me.
You know, Synthetic Man had a black girlfriend in high school. He said this in a stream. He said it was. I saw it on a clip channel. He had a black girlfriend once. He didn't do anything with her, right? But that was like, I don't know if that was his first GF or whatever. So YouTube Nazi incel who had a black girlfriend when he was in high school or whatever. A lot more common than you would think. So we're going to be covering Dead Domain, covering the EDP documentary on Mike Clum and how it's disgusting. It's just the worst shit ever.
I don't generally pay much attention to lolcows.
Oh, this guy is trans, by the way. I have to tell you guys that they're trans because obviously you would not be able to tell, right? Like you guys probably are in denial about it right now. What? Dead Domain is trans? The fuck? What are you talking about?
Around them, I honestly find it to be a generally distasteful bunch of people, usually just trying to entrap or otherwise psychologically torture people who are already impaired.
Wait, are they trans? I just thought about that. Are they trans, or is this just an effeminate guy who's like? Are they? Hey, real quick, let me see. I don't want to misgender somebody like without like misgendering them, like misgendering a misgendered person. Dead Domain's pronouns are they, them, their. Oh, so they're non-binary? Okay, Dead Donate, or what are they not? Like, what the fuck are they? Let's get this done real quick. Okay, so they're non-binary. And, okay, so I was right. They're trans and they're non-binary. Okay, all right, well, whatever then. They're indecisive.
And it's just kind of disgusting. However, I am always interested in victim advocacy, and when it comes to true crimes and documentaries about said crimes, I admit to being interested. Yet, I am also incredibly critical of efforts from people like Alex Rosen or Chris Hansen, who have made names off of being true crime investigators and...
Yeah, they transitioned into nothing. He's a fucking blob now.
Predator hunters, when the reality is usually they just...
It's like when you mix all the colors together, and then they just come out to this fucking weird beige nothingness. That's kind of what happened to this nigga right here. He just became everything and then nothing.
Entrap people, often fucking up a valuable methodology that leads to very real predators.
That's something that I feel like a lot of the LGBT tribe, a lot of the rainbow tribe people that you see, especially the young ones, right? Like you go on Twitter and I see somebody with like 50 fucking LGBT rainbow spectrum flags on it. And before I even click on their profile, I'm like, this is going to say like 18, 19, isn't it? I click there and it's like, yep. Yeah, fucking teenager. Either that or they're 20 or something. Like they're a fucking teeny bopper and they have like 50 identities. And they don't understand if you have 1,000 identities, that means you don't have an identity at all. That means you're a nothing individual.
Then being
See, at least if you had the one trans flag, at least that would be an identity, right? Like maybe one that everyone wouldn't agree with you on, but it'd be an identity. But you're trans and you're ace and you're non-binary and you're fucking whatever the fuck. Like, what are we doing here?
let go, and even worse, often enabling escalation of dangerous behaviors by essentially playing into violent and depraved fantasies of the people that they're catfishing. So when I heard there was a doc on somebody named EDP, and then I looked up who EDP was and what he did, I found out there is an entire film about this. I admit, at that point, I was curious. I wanted to see if this was a cutting, incisive documentary that shows how harmful the predator hunting efforts can be when they're botched, letting dangerous and vile people like EDP roam free when they should be behind bars, despite the things he's done and admitted to doing. Or perhaps I was hoping that maybe there'd be some insight into the modern internet ecosystem and how allowing noxious predators like Andrew Tate to have a platform contributes to harmful attitudes towards women.
So I can't, Andrew Tate can't have a platform because he says things about women. That's he's a misogynist. It's like we got actual shit that you can now fling at the Tate brothers, that they may have been sex trafficking women, possibly sex trafficking underage, sex trafficking minors, possibly, allegedly, not proven yet, right? But those are the things that are on the fucking docket right now, yet to be proven. But they still say no, if you platform Andrew Tate, people are going to be more misogynistic, which I don't know why you're worried about that. You don't even identify as a woman, do you?
Things that you see
you identify as like the void.
By EDP. And
that's what happens if you call yourself non-binary. You're actually just identifying as the void, something in between and something nothing at all.
If
you're identifying as ether. That's what you're identifying as.
Haven't watched the documentary yet. First of all, I'm very jealous. But second, let me tell you up front, if you think it might hold any of those ideas, if you think it might be any way enlightened.
What did I miss? You missed us going over a very, very short video about I Hate Everything, talking about how the Mike Clum documentary on EDP was terrible because the tone was inappropriate and it had jokes and he put Christian in it, which, was wild. I'm not going to lie. And also the documentary wasn't actually going to result in EDP getting arrested. And he kind of got felt it within a week, because within a week of him saying that, fucking FBI reopened the case on EDP specifically because of the documentary. So, now we're watching this new video. We're reacting to Dead Domain, telling us why the Mike Clum documentary on EDP is disgusting, because I haven't heard them days reason yet.
Or critical of the systems that allow predators to harm actual children, then you, like me, will be sorely disappointed. And as you watch this, you will probably also be, like I was, drawn to anger.
The reason why the Tate brothers talk so funny is because they have this weird British act. Like, you can tell their accents start in the UK, but then they've been around and in America a lot, and they've spoken American English, but they never fully transition to American English, right? It's like you have a British actor who's been in the United States because they've been in Hollywood for decades, and now it's like Pierce Bronson, where it's like, okay, they lost the accent, he just speaks American English. Or Mel Gibson, he lost the Australian accent, he just speaks American English. Or, some shit like that. The Tate brothers never did that. They never fully lost the British kick to their accent. So now they speak this weird hybridized Brit Bung Amerimut version of English that sounds weird when you hear it speak.
And revulsion far, far more.
Honestly, that's probably what the founding fathers spoke like. Like, the founding fathers, as disgusting as it is to hear it, they and the other colonists probably spoke a version of English that was very similar to what the Tate brothers speak right now.
Than just mild disappointment. I want to be clear with who's to blame on this. What director and documentarian Mike Clum has done with his EDP 445 documentary is nothing short of exploiting a pedophile like he was a sideshow geek, playing into some of the most vile and voyeuristic tendencies of unrepentant monsters like EDP, while effectively doing absolutely nothing to illuminate the reasons behind his monstrosity, or even doing the bare minimum to defend victims from the harmful ideas that allow predators like this to go about their lives.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what else can we really go deep on somebody who wants to fuck kids? I gotta, like, try and decrypt the psychology of somebody who wants to diddle children? There's not a whole lot to figure out there. Like, we don't try and do all this shit to figure out why men want to fuck adult women, or why adult women want to fuck men, or even why, like, gay niggas want to fuck each other. We never do all that. But when it comes to pedophiles, we got to examine their mind. We got to, look, you should just treat it like a fetish. It's just a fucked up fetish, the same way that bestiality dudes who want to fuck animals also have a fucked up fetish or stuff like, just treat it like that. They're sick. They're disgusting. They're subhumans, and they need to be put in cages if they hurt a child, or even before if they can. But, you know, minority report, all that stuff. We can't predict the future. Although, you know, you send nudes and take nudes from a minor, then yes, obviously you need to go in a cage regardless.
Unimpeded. In fact, I would go even farther to say that several people in this documentary, Mike Clum included, need to be brought up on fucking charges, including child endangerment.
What? Mike Clum needs to be brought up on charges for what? All right, this is gonna be crazy.
There is a litany of stomach-churning shit throughout this
Stomach-churning,
including putting actual children in the presence of an admitted pedophile. Like, I keep saying this.
Well, that's not on Mike Clum. That's on fucking EDP's friend. That's EDP's friend who's like, let my pedophile boy just hang around my kid. It ain't no problem. I trust this nigga. What, Mike Clum is gonna try and tell EDP or his friend what to do?
But when I saw Melania at the beginning of the year, I thought there's no fucking way. It's impossible that there could be a worse movie this year. And then Citizen Vigilante came out. And
of course they hate Citizen Vigilante.
Citizen Vigilante was basically a manifesto to racial violence and incitement.
How can you say that? How can you fucking say that after the shit that came out about all of the fucking basically pedophile raping that's been going on in the UK that didn't result in anybody getting prosecuted? Some of the stories of dudes, the fucking British police just dropping the people who came to them to report some dude for sexually violating them back off and stuff like that. How can you say that after some stuff like that happened?
It's also
like, we have IRL. We got like real life horrific crimes going on. And you want us to prosecute documentarians and people who are making shitty, edgy, fucking grievance movies.
Still fictional and far-fetched. This, however, is a legitimately dangerous film that enables so many of the harmful ideas and narratives with no pushback or accountability. And all of that is made more insulting by the limp attempts in the last 10 minutes to suddenly act like Mike Clum gives a fuck about victims. So, up front, fuck you, Mike. The opening of the film basically plays like a trailer, showing how depraved and unrepentant EDP is as he spews a litany of slurs at his detractors and other drama centers online. He also talks in...
Fundamentally, before we even get any further into this, the problem with people like Dead Domain is that you offending their politics is the worst crime you can commit. Like, genuinely. You can actually commit horrific crimes and it wouldn't be as bad as if you just like blatantly offended this person's politics. That's the worst crime you can commit. That's where their empathy is. Their empathy is within their political persuasion. Nothing else can be separated from it. Like, it's part of their identity. It's part of how they feel. It's part of how they think. It's part of how they process the world. You'll ever see somebody like this and they'll give you an opinion and you'll be like, that's just ridiculous. That doesn't what you just said doesn't even make sense. It sounds like you sound crazy. Well, they sound like that because they aren't processing the world through necessarily what's happening. They're processing the world through the lens of their political persuasion. And that's it. They can't view it any other way. Very tunnel vision down a very specific lane, regardless of how rocky or unworldly it fucking is. All the twists and turns and how uphill they gotta go and shit like that.
Grotesque detail about being attracted to minors and children, and then you find out that the filmmaker apparently followed EDP for 2 years to make this. The effort that went into this thing is genuinely baffling. EDP is given soundstage setups like he's aura farming. There are cutaways where—
What are you? He's getting sound like he's aura farming? God forbid Mike Clum puts some effort into his documentary and put some production value into it. He should have just gave him some shitty mic and let him like do it like a podcast. That's what he would have did. How dare you, Mike Clum? How dare you try and shoot your documentary well?
where they play dress up with fake arrest lineup backgrounds. So from the jump, it's apparent that the filmmaker isn't interested in capturing the real, often mundane depravity of someone like EDP, but instead is more intent in making a polished documentary, complete with—
Yes! He is committed to doing his job well. He is committed to making a good piece of content. Yes, that is what he was trying to do.
Actor reenactments of scenes like ones where EDP is sexually texting minors. So much of this intro and the documentary as a whole can be called unnecessary. There's literally no reason to reenact a minor texting a predator, which we'll get to. But there's certainly no need to fictionalize and show several long—
I mean, there's no need for any of this. Like, what do these people want? Do they want the documentary to just be like 10 minutes of EDP is a pedophile, here's why, here's why, here's why, goodbye? What do they want? What do they expect Mike Clum to do? Just spend 2 years? 2 years doing nothing. Just make like a shitty half-hour long podcast where you call EDP a bad person the whole time.
Drawn out sequences where the actors are reading the depraved, lurid rape fantasies that EDP sent. The only reason so much effort and polish and obviously money went into this was to sensationalize a genuinely dangerous predator. And don't give me bullshit, Mike, about how all proceeds from this will go to Rain. A reminder that bookends the film.
I love how he says, don't give me bullshit, Mike, as if Mike Clum is going to watch this video. Like, nigga, Mike Clum ain't watching
because
this.
As anyone who makes YouTube videos—
I remember when Synthetic Man, the video that Dead Domain did on Synthetic Man, he clicked on it and he watched like 2 minutes of it, and then he was like, nah. And then he clicked off, and he never watched it again. Because why am I going to watch you just fucking watch? Again, that's kind of amazing, though. It's like this tear down of the documentary, an hour and a half long documentary Mike Clum did on EDP. Only 40 minutes. Somehow calling Synthetic Man a Nazi incel 2.5 hours. I don't know how you could do that. I don't know. I'm kind of curious, but I also don't want to like sit here and watch 2.5 hours of this motherfucker cry about a chud who plays video games and makes YouTube videos for 2.5 hours. I don't want to do that, but I'm very curious. How does he stretch this shit for so long? What could you possibly put in there?
Exposure is its own payment, and by sensationalizing this disgusting spectacle, Mike is still very much profiting from this through a variety of means.
Mikey, who is this beautiful woman? Oh, well, that's Synthetic Man. That's not really a woman, dude. You know, he's got the glasses on. I know it's not in like the highest definition.
Down by any means necessary.
That's the guy. That's Synthetic Man, bro. What are you talking about?
Including growing his viewer base, which is the ultimate goal of any clout-chasing dipshit. Documentaries should illuminate new information about the subject covered. It shouldn't just be a compilation of already known facts you could find on a Wikitubia article. A good documentary should help a viewer gain some kind of insight into a subject, whether that's through the documentarian doing interviews, capturing vulnerable moments, catching them off guard, what have you. But there is no.
Did he not do that? Did he not do that with EDP? I feel like EDP was very vulnerable and he overshared a lot in that documentary, way more than he should have. Like, if I was in EDP's fat, obese, pedophilic, dying from cancer, one dialysis visit that I miss and I'm through, I have to work 90 hours a week just to survive, like literally. If I was in his shoes, I wouldn't have shared that much in this documentary.
Real new information uncovered here. In over an hour and a half of a film, there's nothing to learn that can't be gleaned from just browsing a brief Google search. So in the simple merits of contributing any meaningful new information to the conversation, Mike Clum fails spectacularly, which, as you find out while watching the...
Yeah, most documentaries don't share new information. What new information are you going to get from a World War II doc, for example? Yeah, exactly. It's like, how could I even, like, when you really think about it, how could the average documentarian get, maybe you can organize the information into a format that, you know, nobody put it before. Like when I made my Nick Fuentes documentary, nobody had ever really made an in-depth documentary on Nick Fuentes from like the origin up until like modern, like current year. And that wasn't blinded by political bias of like calling him a Nazi or some shit. Nobody had did that before. The way I formatted the documentary. But it's like the information, there wasn't a whole lot of shit that was new there. Pretty much everything was in receipts that you could already find from fucking Kiwi Farms, from Milo, from Jaden, from some old Kino Casino video or some shit, from Ralph, Telegram, places like that. All this shit was floating around. I didn't put anything new out there.
Doc leaves little else to do than watch a predator laugh and brag about not being in prison, brag about his violent murder fantasies, and then interviewing a bunch of YouTubers with nothing else going on between their fucking brains than to throw out some generic platitudes about how EDP is a bad person. Like,
well, what did you want? Like, what did these guys want from the doc?
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
get it.
To Penguin Zero.
What did they want for them to say? What did they want for Mike Clum to do? What more could he do? It's like they don't want the documentary to exist, period. Really. That's all it is.
Scumfucks who decided to give their cameo appearance to this pile of shit. At every turn, I kept asking, why? Why were the facts presented this way? Why was the story told in the order that was chosen? Why did they leave an interview with an actual psychologist pushing back on EDP's rhetoric that normalizes attraction towards minors until the last 10 minutes?
Because who the fuck would watch that? Who would watch that? See, this is, well, I guess people watch this guy, right? Well, this video only has, how many people? He has like 160 subs. Let me see. I mean, they do, well, no, he has some, wow. Well, it's on and off, right? It's very, it depends on what he's talking about. It depends on what he's talking about, depends on his views. See, you guys understand why I didn't know this dude was non-binary. I thought he was just straight up trans. Because fucking look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit, bro. He's trying to fucking Harley Quinn Max.
All I can say, it's because, like I did, people will watch it. People will be disgusted by it, but seeing the polish and amount of names attached, like I did, will be drawn to seeing it through in the hopes that it goes somewhere, that it will build to some...
Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he just wanted it to, like, push propaganda. Maybe that's what it is, right? Because I've noticed there's this thing. The thing with people who critique things from a political angle is that they both have two problems. One, they're both blinded by ideology, right? Like they give points when people push propaganda, or alternatively, they give points when no propaganda is being pushed. They'll see that as a virtue rather than it being like the default mode. You shouldn't even get points from that. But, you know, it's so rare these days that people get spoiled by it.
tangibly new revelations or try to hold someone to accountability. Words like vile, irresponsible, and repugnant do very little to describe this film and what it entails. And that has little to do with the actual subject matter. I'm not even talking about EDP. I'm talking about Mike. This is on its own abominable, and Mike front-loads that by leaning into the shock value. But like anything relying on shock value, it wears off quickly, leaving this film with nothing but a gauntlet of amoral horrors and situations that are enabled by people like Mike and the predator hunters who bungled bringing this actual monster to justice.
Yeah, we know. He talks about that. That's in the documentary.
Get into this.
They keep bringing up the predator hunters fucking up the case as if that wasn't a big thing in the doc, as if they weren't deliberately being made fun of.
Shit.
There's a reason why all those dudes after the doc came out, they had to put out statements to clarify things and make themselves like, no, you don't get it. I wasn't retarded, right? And then he proceeds to tell us why he actually was, in fact, retarded.
The video basically starts by laying out that EDP was a beloved YouTuber and then cutting to him sitting in a car watching teenagers at a bus stop talking about how hot the teen girls are while calling the teen boys slurs. Then, as we hear EDP talking about how he wants to fuck kids, we get an overlay telling us that 1 in 6 men claim attraction to minors and 2% of the population.
I'm assuming this was posted before. Yes, this was posted 5 days ago. So this video and I Hate Everything video both age very poorly. Everybody, right? If EDP does get arrested, if he actually does go to prison because of Mike Clum's documentary, everybody who shit on Mike Clum's doc is eating so much shit.
Okay.
Say, oh, it was bad, huh? It was terrible, huh? Oh, Mike Clum didn't do anything. All he did was give EDP a platform, huh?
We get no sources for this. We get no further analysis. It doesn't tie into anything else. We get no insight into why men feel permitted.
I don't believe this stat, by the way. 2% of the population of pedophiles. I don't believe that at all. It's way higher than that. It's way higher.
To prey on women and minors. But
because it's like, what are you, first off, what are you counting as a pedophile? Are you just counting the dudes who are into young children? Or are you like, because let's say, I don't know, let's be generous. Let's just count the people who are attracted to people under the age of, I don't know, 16, right? Let's be super duper fucking generous and say people who are attracted to people who are 16 and 17, but don't act on it, right? Like, even then, it's still gonna be high. Like, I have no doubt that the amount of people who are attracted to people who are age 15 and younger, way higher percentage of the population than 2%. Maybe they're just talking about the people who have, like, touched somebody underaged and they gotten busted for it. Then, okay, I still think it probably is, like, this is probably still distorted. But then again, they're probably counting people who are on record.
Sure do get a lot of chances for EDP throughout to talk about how he wants to fuck kids. Not going to try and like debunk that being a normal thing. Like
yeah, it's probably self-admitted.
Just doesn't push.
What I think is that the average pedophile just has a lot of them are not retarded enough to A, hide their power level, and B, never act on it. Never like go out of your way to make a thing about it, never be alone with an underage person you're not related to. Don't do anything and just, die with the shame of knowing you got this monster in you.
Back on those narratives at all. It's a lot of the runtime, by the way, is just that. I know it's just getting started, but there are so many places where this doc is a missed opportunity. And the one that permeates the whole film is the way Mike does literally nothing to attempt to analyze why statistics like that matter. What are the underlying social causes?
Why does he need to do that? What would that happen? What would that benefit the documentary for Mike Clum to sit there and analyze the psyche of the child fucker? What would anybody gain from him doing that?
EDP talks about.
Let me go real deep into why these dudes want to have sex with children. We don't really need anything we don't need anything like that. We leave that to the psychologists. We're here to talk about how this particular guy became a pedophile and make fun of him for dying slowly of cancer.
How it's minors' fault for him being attracted to them because 13-year-olds will post pictures online with their friends. He blames women for his loneliness. There's no pushback for these things. There's no analysis for how these issues are related.
So he's supposed to stop every time. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about why the leftist memes are so terrible. Because they can't just let things be, right? Like the ordinary person, here's what they do. They can't trust that somebody, it bothers them. It really does bother them, the idea that an idea gets to circulate without them immediately just struggle sessioning it to make sure that people know their position on it and make sure as many people agree with it as possible, right? Like it bothers them, the idea that somebody might disagree with them on something. So they have to make sure, they have to propagandize, they have to proselytize their fucking ideas. And this is why their memes are so long, because they can't just get to the point. Because, oh, what if somebody misconstrues what I'm saying? What if they misunderstand what my point is? What if they don't agree with me by the time they're done reading the meme? What if they don't know that I'm making fun of chuds?
How incel rhetoric and manosphere bullshit from people that EDP names as influences like Andrew Tate and Pearl Davis play into these attitudes, enabling a culture that makes people like him think that behavior.
It's like comedies. It's comedies that don't have an audience, but they still have a laugh track, and they put the laugh track on to make sure that you know when to laugh, right? Like you're supposed to laugh here. You got to clap. Come on, clap. You got to Review Tech USA it up.
Behavior like this is in any way acceptable. We just get clips of EDP saying, if an adult is not attracted to minors, then they're just lying. Missed opportunities like this are throughout and go a long way towards my ire for Mike and this pathetic attempt at a documentary.
Do you think the manosphere could have fixed this guy? Oh no, the manosphere would have just made him a freak. And wait, which guy are you talking about? You say it could fix this guy. Which guy are you talking about? Are you talking about Dead Domain or EDP? Real quick, clarify for me. Because the answer to both of them is no, but I'm curious.
At the end of what's essentially just a trailer showing other content creators like Darkside Phil,
Dead Domain? Oh no, he would have just been a different type of insufferable asshole, but just from the other side of the aisle.
Actual documentary starts. Again,
he would have been Sneeko maxing.
The opening is just
he would have been Myron Gaines maxing.
Online bullshit drama.
Yeah, something like that.
Catnip for low-cal aficionados, perfectly illustrating Mike's actual priorities here. Part of the actual ad even says 94 minutes of repulsive content while framing EDP getting out of bed as the repulsive aspect. And I know for a lot of people in the low-cal space, the fact that EDP is obese is the focal point of critique, but clearly Mike cares about that. I don't give a fuck. I could give a fuck less. It's a little worse to me that he's a fucking predator pedophile. Tangents like this, where throughout Mike will take time to navel gaze at online drama, indulge EDP's petty rivalries, and spend.
Well, look, the documentary is about EDP. It all comes back to him being a pedophile in the end. So what, you just wanted it to be one note? You just wanted him to drum the same thing over and over? Now I kind of am curious. About this Synthetic Man documentary, because is it like what he is? I'm curious, what does it look like when he gets a chance to make his big tear down documentary about some East celebrity, right? Is he really just badgered the same point over and over and over again?
Times on other inane bullshit.
I bet what happens, right? Like Synthetic Man is going to say a slur on stream. And then Dead Domain is going to take that and make like 30 to 40 minute segment out of him saying, I don't know, nigs or whatever the fuck. Something like that.
Shit also undermine what should be the actual narrative of the doc, which is in more competent hands, this would be a focused doc on an internet-poisoned, pathetic, lonely incel and how someone gets to his level of depravity. But instead,
in my opinion, the most interesting parts of the EDP documentary were us going over things that didn't even have to do with him being a pedophile. Because I know that he's a pedophile. I know about all of the pedophile shit he got up to. I got about the things that he was sending to minors, or, you know, in the case of that one decoy who he thought he was sending to a minor. And then he went for the cupcakes, and then, you know, thing with the other minor, and there were other girls before that he got caught, you know, by that one dude, the other dude, Cool as Raven, and stuff like that. So I already knew all that stuff. So finding out all this other stuff, about how his mother is dead, but he saw the ghost of his mom right before he went to get the cupcake, about how he has the one friend that actually has his back and shit and thinks, oh no, man, my man is innocent. I even let him hang around my kids, shit like that. Finding out that he's dying. I mean, I already knew he had cancer. Finding out that his cancer is so bad that literally he misses one dialysis visit. He's done. He's dead. He's dead within like 24 hours if he misses one dialysis trip or he doesn't take his meds properly. That was all very interesting.
Instead, Mike decided to make a movie about giving a pathetic loser a chance to make excuses for his actions and complain about his haters online. Undoubtedly, Mike also knows that means a bunch of these other creators will then watch and react to the video, helping to...
That's too good of a friend, bro. You don't need a friend that good.
Spread it more, because that's what...
There's a point when Ride or Die gets to like a point of just like delusion. Like there's a point where it's perfectly fine for you to jump ship. You don't have to go down with the Titanic, the EDP size ship, bro. You got to do that.
He's interested in here. Not actually holding responsible parties accountable or advocating.
No, Dead Domain does not understand at all. He does not understand the internet entertainment aspect of any of this shit.
For victims. Whatever. The actual doc starts with part 1, Making a Monster, with reenactments of EDP watching wrestling while monologuing about how he looked up to villains growing up.
Like, he sounds a lot like Spoonie. Dead Domain's voice, his cadence, it sounds a lot like Spoonie. Which I was going to say if Spoonie was an obnoxious leftist, but he kind of is in a way. Spoonie is, well, he's not as bad, obviously. He's not as bad, Noah isn't. But he does also harp about his politics, even though nobody gives a fuck.
Everything else that could have been insightful, this is a flat attempt at framing that goes nowhere. Kind of side-eyeing the idea.
Doesn't he sound like Spoonie, though?
This cruel monster. This heel character, but...
Hold on, let me do something. Let me see something. let me see something. Now I'm curious. Let me see. Just randomly just going to pick up anything. It doesn't even matter that much. Okay.
Of orcs and buggery.
I don't know the controls because they're so broken. You're like, there's a jump button, but to jump, you have to be running in the direction you want to jump, and you have to be holding up, then push the jump button to get a...
Insightful, this is a flat attempt at framing that goes nowhere. Kind of side-eyeing the idea that he always wanted to be this cruel monster.
Running leap. See, now I couldn't do that. Now Riceland, maybe he has a shot. Hey, he flowed. I guess not. I guess I got 3 guys dead. 4.
This heel character, but that doesn't at all tie into...
They got the same... Bro, I swear, dude.
That EDP then jumps right into, that he blames his loneliness and inceldom on not getting dates despite his YouTube success. Again, this loneliness is essentially used by EDP as an excuse for how he first got into trouble texting a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Where he blames escalating addiction to porn and not being able to get laid.
Yes, dude. That is the point. The point is that you're hearing EDP's justifications for why he became what he is, right? Like, he's not taking accountability. He's blaming it on his porn addiction. He's blaming it on some girl in high school who wasn't even his girlfriend, fucking him over, the fucking other guy. He's blaming it on his mom. He's blaming all of this other shit that obviously has nothing to do with him wanting to fuck kids. That's the point. You're seeing a freak rationalize why they're a freak. Do you not understand this?
And we get...
Like, maybe it's the autism. Maybe he genuinely can't understand that he needs to hear Mike Clum audibly tell him that these things are bad and he doesn't approve and he doesn't agree with EDP's excuses at all. Otherwise, he doesn't know.
Excruciating reenactments of him being rejected in high school, and that apparently was the catalyst for embracing an incel lifestyle and then becoming a pedophile. There's no pushback from Mike in the interviews he conducts across 2 years, by the way. He doesn't ask, hey, did you maybe try prostitutes? Hey, did you maybe think a media diet of nothing but rapists and woman beaters might have contributed to your violent fantasies? Not even the regular smooth-brained analysis of how his admitted addiction to increasingly extreme and violent pornography.
Yeah, it's tell. He wants to tell, not show. Which actually, that does track, right? That does track.
He could have fueled his deviant desires. So, like,
It's all lectures. It's all lecturing and over-explaining and propagandizing.
minutes in at this point, the thing is completely unfocused, all over the place, and wildly irresponsible. And at no point is there an explanation in a segment called Making a Monster of how he became this way. And if you were to take the doc at face value, based on just the facts provided by Mike, the narrative goes something like this.
No, he is a leftist and thinks genetics has no influence on your... Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, he probably thinks... Which I don't understand. You know what I just noticed? What the fuck? Is that a hell of a boss? Is that a fucking hell of a boss microphone he's got there? It's the I forget what it's called. The Troon character. No, it's not Troon. Obvious. Also, that doesn't really like laser it down. It's the dude. It's the furry nigga with the multiple arms. Ain't that him right there on the mic? Of course, I should have known.
Wrestling as a kid and liked villains.
Of course, they're a hell of a bus fan.
Lonely.
Of course, they are.
Wanting to be
Has Been Hotel, all that.
That's the facts as Mike is laying them out. We do get a look at EDP's failing health throughout, with Mike ending the video on the idea that his diabetes, terrible.
But yeah, the whole he doesn't think that genetics play any role in this shit at all shit tracks, which never really made sense to me at all, because I don't know, how can you believe in something like hormone therapy? How can you believe in hormone therapy but then say that genetics don't play a role in anything? Like, what do you think that where do you think hormones come from? Let's say somebody has a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's because of hormones, bro. That's what that shit is, right? That stuff, if you have a hormonal imbalance, that can completely change how you develop as you grow up and shit like that. That can affect everything. Not just your fucking gender, but like your IQ, for certain developmental things, certain conditions that you develop and all that.
Lack of exercise and general laziness, EDP is slowly but surely killing himself, as though...
It's like the nature versus nurture debate is completely retarded. Obviously, it's both. Obviously, it is both nature and nurture. It's not either one or the other. Yes, if you like take a baby and you get like two high IQ parents, both amazing genetics, right? And I don't know, you take that baby and you like leave it in the worst, trashiest fucking ghetto ever. Well, obviously that kid isn't going to realize his full potential because he's not in an environment and not raised by people who could bring it out of him. But at the same time, I don't know, you take like a kid, super low IQ parents, terrible genetics, he has autism and shit like that, and then you put him into a really good environment where obviously he's going to have a better life growing up than if his environment was worse. But obviously him having the things that he has like mentally and genetically is going to hinder him maximizing his potential as somebody who was naturally smarter, naturally more gifted, didn't have autism and all that other shit, you know.
That's meant to be a consolation, as though that's some kind of accountability, as Mike ignores this person is a repeat offender who is utterly unrepentant and is free to try hurting more people. As we get this cretin's origin story, you'll notice the music choices throughout. Mike has licensed several actual songs for this doc, in addition to a litany of baby's first classical music jams like Thus Spake Zarathustra and Moonlight Sonata. And at nearly every turn, they are used to seemingly lighten the mood. Like, the choices serve only to juxtapose against the stories being told, undermining the seriousness of what's actually happening, with quippy music choices like Sweet Fucking Caroline. So after EDP gets a successful...
Just nitpicking.
YouTube channel...
No, the eugenicists weren't right, because here's the thing, right? here's the problem with eugenics. And back in the good old days, right? Let's say the Victorian and Gilded Age era. First off, eugenics is a progressive idea. Some people, like, they see leftist type people who are pro eugenics, like they're pro abortion if it gets rid of certain conditions and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, leftist people, progressives are pro eugenics. Now, eugenics has always been a pretty pro eugenics, pro progressive idea, honestly. But the problem with it is that what people initially thought it was going to be is that it was going to be, okay, we're going to use eugenics to get rid of all of the bad conditions, and we're just going to breed people who are healthy and who are smart. They don't have any weird conditions. They live long. They don't get sick. We're just going to have like a community of very healthy, smart people. In reality, very, very quickly, it started to devolve into basically build a baby type shit where it's like, well, no, I want my kid to be beautiful. I want my kid to be pretty. No, I want my kid to have pretty red hair like his uncle. That's what I want him to do. I want him to have red hair like my brother. I don't want him to have brunette hair like me. It was stuff like that, right? And if you leave eugenics up to, here's the thing, eugenics could only really work in a dictatorship where you have a dude who's determining who breeds with who. If you leave it up to the individual, well, they're just going to try and build the most prettiest baby. Like, the things that they're going to focus on isn't that their baby is super high IQ. On average, they're going to focus that their baby is just pretty and has like pretty blue or green eyes or, light skin or some shit like that.
As the story goes, he details how a miner reached out to him. And in the depths of his loneliness, we kick off the second segment, flatly titled Sex with a 13-Year-Old.
Dawkins? You mean like Richard Dawkins said that eugenics works on X? The same dude who said he couldn't tell that an LLM that he was talking to wasn't sentient? Oh, I can't even tell. I can't say with 100% certainty that the AI I'm talking to doesn't have sentience, that it doesn't have a mind of its own. You mean that guy?
We cut to another YouTuber who caught EDP following a bunch of minors on Instagram and messaging them before going public with these allegations. According to this YouTuber, Cold Raven, EDP would text sexy and cute to people, and then when you looked at his Insta followers, it was a bunch of 13 to 15-year-olds. This point undermines an excuse EDP will use later that a minor actually reached out to him. EDP tries to play off his...
No, Down syndrome is not the reason for abortion. No, abortion has been a thing since the beginning of civilization. Like, one of the earliest things, I've heard this theorized by certain historians and shit like this, is that they said stuff like the early medicines weren't even to treat people who were sick. It was for women to help to terminate unwanted pregnancies. That's what like early herbology and stuff like that was for. Like, women have been doing abortions, and I guess men have been helping them do it basically since the beginning of time. I forget what book it was. It was like Age of Civilizations, I think it was, or something like that. It was by Durant. God, I forgot this book. It was a long time since I read it, but the book had a quote in it that said that men love children. And men would like have a bunch of children, and the only thing that they would want is that they were all boys, while women just hate the labor of having a child. And they spent basically every single era of civilization from every culture in the world basically trying to develop a way to induce pregnancy termination without like harming themselves.
As being entrapped, which by people like Alex Rosen, he was. But again, if Mike Clum had any fucking ideas in his head outside of chasing clout, he'd be able to try and explore the idea that EDP was clearly already a predator and entertaining fantasies well before that entrapment. So Cold Raven found this out and brought it to this dumb fuck, Alex Rosen, another clout chaser wannabe Chris Hansen,
and of course, they always get the maddest at Alex Rosen. They always get the maddest at Alex Rosen because he's racist, right? Like, that means he's the worst out of all of these guys. Even though out of all of the pedo catchers who were featured in this documentary, aside from Chris Hansen, he has done the best job at poaching pedophiles. He has done the best job at getting these dudes arrested. He has. Like, credit to Alex. He has done that. But they always get the most mad at him because, I don't know, he's trying to get Chud the Builder. He's like, free my nigga Chud the Builder. He ain't do nothing or stuff like that. And he makes racist jokes. And that just pisses them off. That's worse. That's worse than him helping put pedophiles in jail.
Recently tried to bail out Nazi mustache enthusiast Chud the Builder. Predator poacher.
Oh, of course. I didn't even watch that far.
Alex organization allegedly has resulted in more than 50 arrests in their predator sting.
Here's the thing, right? I don't understand how, with the fucking Carmelo Anthony case that was going on, and all of the support we got for Carmelo, and also for the Lindsey Clancy case as well, how you can make that big of a deal of Alex Rosen supporting Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder, he shot somebody. It may have been self-defense. It may have been, preempted, but he still didn't kill somebody. Carmelo Anthony did kill somebody in cold blood. Lindsey Clancy, she killed all 3 of her children, premeditated, in cold blood. So, like, I don't know how you can actually just hold this against Alex Rosen for just, like, supporting some edgy internet guy.
Where they catfish and encourage a predator and then ambush them with cameras for fucking content. Predator catchers like this have become far more common over time as it's a relatively easy way to clout chase, and it appeals to a very simple urge that most people share. Predators should be held accountable and exposed. The problem is that making content off of these monsters doesn't actually help victims. While they might tout 50 arrests, I'm willing to bet the number of actual prosecutions is far, far lower because it's so easy for these predators to just walk when it's obvious they were set up just to be humiliated by online clout whores. That doesn't really stand up in the court of law. So, not only do the predators walk most of the time, but additionally, they fucking walk knowing what to look for if an actual undercover officer or someone else qualified.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. These dudes are retarded. The type of dude, look, the pedophiles who are actually smart and, they're clever enough to not get caught while doing the shit that they do, they don't get caught by pedophile poachers. That doesn't happen. These dudes, and you see it, right? When you see them on camera, you can tell, oh yeah, this is a dumb motherfucker right here. Those are the people. Like that one dude who came there to fuck kids, but he came there in a diaper. In the diaper he had already shit in, and the cops were telling him that, hey, you need to stand up and change your pants because we can smell your diaper. And he's just chimping out because he's like, it wasn't supposed to be like this. In his smelly fucking diaper, his smelly pedophile who came there to sodomize a child. Those are the type of people who these dudes pick up. They are not going to learn their lesson. They're going to get caught again, just like EDP got caught again.
Might be trying to catch them. And additionally, in the process of these catfishing missions, people like Rosen not only used pictures of real underage children, with Rosen using his...
Yes, Rosen does work with the cops. Like I said, that example I just gave you, the cops were there when he did that, right? So it's like, if the case doesn't go anywhere, it's not really his fault because he did everything he was supposed to do.
Own underage family members, you sick fuck. But by engaging with these predators and encouraging them with overtly sexual messages that let them go deeper into their perverse fantasies, they're essentially allowing predators to indulge and escalate their desire. So let me reframe it to make clear how stupid and fucked up this shit is. If you thought somebody was a serial killer, and you wanted to catch them planning a murder, and you strung them along for months, indulging increasingly violent fetishes and impulses, encouraging them to live out their fantasies, what you're doing isn't building a case, you're leading to behavioral escalation. You're encouraging them to bring their horrid impulses into reality. And then when people like Alex botch the operations to catch them and they're let free...
Well, but that's what the feds do. You not know what a honeypot operation is? They do that. They already do that. So are they doing it wrong too? You don't think that the feds, that they have decoys and they do the same shit that a lot of these poachers do?
Not only are they now ready to escalate and have decided to then try and live out their fantasies in real life, but they walk away with a better idea of how to avoid being caught. There's a fucking reason real detectives and people who track and investigate criminals like this don't have fucking reality TV shows, because actual justice, actual helping people and defending victims isn't a fucking clout game. It's real life and people actually get hurt. But Whatever. So, as the story goes, Alex makes a fake account, likely using a real picture to pose as a 13-year-old girl, and reaches out to EDP. Already, nobody would prosecute this case because EDP didn't initiate, meaning it's too easy to prove he wasn't trapped. These sequences are also some of the most disgusting, as we get reenactments involving a...
Also, I feel like the entrapment shit really shouldn't work. Really shouldn't apply to pedophiles at all. Because, okay, let's say... I don't know, let's say it was like an actual... Let's say it was an actual minor. If an actual minor approaches you and solicits you for sex, and you're like, yeah... You're still going to get prosecuted because you said yes to having sex with an underage person. But for some reason, if it's like somebody pretending to be a minor and you said yes, that's entrapment. And it's like, bro, you wanted to, like, you intended to fuck a kid. Like, you were going to do that.
Young-looking child actor playing a role that never actually existed, as a stand-in for the fake person EDP was texting his vile fantasies to, all with music and voiceover. At a certain point, these reenactments by Mike border on irresponsible for just how far they go into portraying the fantasies of a real pedophile, recreating the fantasies instead of the mundane reality, and in the process almost certainly providing some fucking cathartic content for actual predators who will watch this video. Like, Mike is just making predator catnip and calling it a documentary. And all of this is intercut with EDP basically going back to blaming his loneliness and being like, I don't know, apparently too horny to think straight as he sexually harassed.
Yeah, because he's a retard who can't take accountability. He's dumb. He's what the average pedophile is like. That's why they are going to learn their lesson. So real quick, this is the video I was talking about. The video I was talking about with, let me see. No. There we go. Change window so then I don't have to change the size later.
So what happens when you shit? Like, does it like come out of the diaper or?
Nope. It'll stay in there.
Okay, so you're gonna pee first?
Yes.
All right. Let's give you some distance. Like, you know, so it doesn't really leak.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're actually gonna shit right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Holy shit, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, fuck. Have a conversation. You mind just sitting down? You?
Well, he can't shit himself because he already shit himself.
Just Dylan, don't talk to them. Just have a seat, dude. Do you mind?
Why did you do this to me?
Dylan, just have a seat. We just want to talk to you.
Why did you all do this to me?
We just want to talk to you. We just want to talk to you.
Why did you do this?
Right? You're only 21?
Why did you do this, man? I just wanted to come here and fuck your kid. Why did you do this to me?
I'm 21.
Okay, so you're young enough. Let's talk it out, man.
You got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah, we're not trying to ruin that.
I already got in trouble for something like this once, a couple of months ago.
See, it's that domain is like, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn to not do this again. No, retard. These dudes are fucking animals. They are animals. They are subhumans. They do not learn. That's how much they want to molest children. They want to do it so bad that they will literally get caught once and then they'll come back, do it again, shit their diaper, and then have to just stand there while the pedo hunter and the cops show up with the diaper all shitty and smelly. These are the type of people who we're talking about, bro.
What happened?
I had child. I'm still waiting for charges. I didn't want my life to be ruined like this.
Did you want it to be a threesome?
How could you do this to me? How could you? Hold up. How old is Alex Rosen? How old is Alex Rosen age? How old is he? There ain't no way. 26. 26. He's a year older than Gideon. I thought he was like 10 years older than Gideon, at least. It's like Gideon is like fucking 25. This nigga is 26. Just Norwooded as fuck. Oh shit, I guess this is what it takes to fucking hunt these pedophiles, right? This is what it costs, right? You got to throw a little bit of yourself away. It put years on you. It puts years on you. Fucking going after these pedos, bro. You make a deal with the Norwood Reaper. It's like, Reaper, please, I'll give it all to you. I'll give all, like, 2/3 of it to you, Reaper. Just give me the power to put these pedophiles on camera and also let me make money on it. Like, give me the power to just put these pedophiles behind bars, please, Mr. Reaper. That's the pact they have to make.
One after the other.
Either way.
Okay. Well, how's Taylor?
Taylor's 11.
Okay.
Seems like you've been honest with us, okay?
And there goes the police. Chris, thank you for the rage quit. Why exactly is this dude mad about the doc? Because it sounds like he wants to be spoon-fed the fucking morals. Media literacy, my ass. You know what media literacy is? I realize this. Media literacy is just like, it's the progressive way of saying reading comprehension. Because if you're like a progressive leftist person, you can't make fun of people not reading anymore, because usually that means you end up talking about, you're actually making fun of, you're not really making fun of rednecks, because a lot of rednecks, even in like poor, deep southern states, actually can read. You're actually usually making fun of like black and Latino people in like blue inner cities. So you can't make fun of people for not being able to read. So then you just say media literacy instead.
Oh. I just told my mom I was done with the lies.
Go ahead and stand up. You're under arrest.
Wait, you talked to your mom about this? You talked to your mom about you being a pedophile?
Oh. I just told my mom I was done with the lies.
What lies? You are a pedophile who goes to fuck children in diapers, and you piss and shit in your diaper right before you fuck the chick. What were you going to do? I don't actually want to know what he was going to do with the shitty diaper if he were to meet the kids, but you know what you are. Who was lying about you?
Go ahead and stand up. You're under arrest.
You're a shitty diaper pedo boy. That's exactly what you are.
Come on, how about go home?
Can I at least get some dignity with the...
Nope, you can stand up. Dignity. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and take your diaper off and put a fresh one on. Seriously? Take it off. Put a fresh one on. I'm not putting you in my car.
Oh, no! Oh!
Officer, please give these officers a raise.
This is...
Please? Holy shit.
I cannot fit into this. It's physically too small.
Where's your pants? Are those your pants?
Yes,
put your pants on.
You got something put on.
Put your pants on.
I mean, seriously.
First up, what is this dude doing here with the fucking censor block? Nigga, you aren't even trying. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? The fucking, his little peewee is all the way over there, bro.
He came here to meet you. Put
your fucking pants on.
I'm having a fucking emotional breakdown, please.
You're gonna get cuffed and you're gonna walk out without pants.
I never wanted to be this way!
He does need to be wearing diapers. Like, you see how he acts. Like, yeah, this guy is a baby. This guy is a baby. He should be walking around with diapers. He should have a pasty in his mouth, too. Should be walking around. He should have a rattle on deck.
Put your pants on now.
So, yeah, those brilliant pedophiles who are they're going to adapt. These pedo hunters, they're teaching them how to avoid, you know, like that dude in the diaper who did exactly the same thing, or EDP who also did exactly the same thing. EDP actually did it more than twice. He just got caught like on a big platform by a big influencer twice. He went viral for it twice. He did it multiple times though.
Child. And the only effort Mike makes to call attention to how vile and wrong the situation is just recreating several of the vile sexual fantasies in text form. Like, these segments go on. I cannot stress enough. This segment goes on for a fucking eternity. It's like 6 or 7 minutes of EDP feeling sorry for himself, intercut with recreating his pedophile fantasies.
No, he's telling you the backstory, nigga. He's informing us. He's informing us on the lore, right? This is a character study. Do you not know what a character study is? Do you not know what it is to analyze somebody's psyche? You want us to break down the pedophilia? How about we break down him as an individual?
Fuck you, Mike. Straight up damn you to hell. Additional disgusting details, like hopeful piano music playing and EDP's background adorned with childlike drawings about this girl. Just fucking vile pieces of shit. Everyone who had a hand in this, you fucking clowns. So after
He's
Alex
just mad
baits
to be mad.
EDP into sending a masturbation...
Been taking too much hormones. Is fucking up his... It's making him chemically imbalanced. He's getting emotional.
Video,
Thank God he can't have kids. We know what happens to real women who have emotional imbalances and they have children.
To move forward with their sting up and the infamous cupcake incident when they confronted EDP and he claimed he was just trying to meet somebody to get a cupcake. In this one singular moment of insight, which goes nowhere, EDP tells the story of on his way to the meetup, he claims he felt his mother's presence, saying he smelt the cigarettes she used to smoke. Now, this could have been, in the hands of a more competent director, a great chance to confront someone so wildly unrepentant by asking, what do you think your mother would think of this?
What would be the point of that? You just want, is that what you want him to do? Did you want Mike Clum to just every once in a while say there, okay, Bryant, now what would your mommy want you to do? What would your mommy think about you fucking kids? What do you think his mom would say, you fucking retard? What do you think he would think about that? You fucking rube?
Maybe actually get into his upbringing, how he was raised, how that affected...
Now, Bryant, your mommy wouldn't like you driving all the way up there to get a cupcake from an underage girl and then raping her, would she? I bet you didn't think about that, did you, Bryant?
His attitudes towards women. Instead, we just get a 10-second cutaway ghost story, another point for the fuck you Mike Clum scoreboard. So, as the story goes, EDP was exposed publicly.
Where are EDP's parents anyway? They were never mentioned in the doc. Well, his mom was only mentioned in the doc once because she's dead. His dad wasn't mentioned because of the obvious thing you would expect from a nigga like him.
Everyone had a hot take. EDP hoped it would all blow over until it became...
When you really think about it, single mother household, nigga was raised in a single parent household and his mom died pretty early in life. It was already over for him. It was already over for bro.
Apparent to him that
God actually did his family a disservice. He did his mom a disservice by taking her up out of here before he could like dishonor his entire lineage.
Being a pedophile was a bigger deal.
Also, I have no doubt that Mike Clum did contact many of EDP's relatives, and all of them just declined talking in the documentary because they're like, no. They probably just disavow that dude. Remember, EDP did say, he said this in the documentary, maybe fucking dead domain. I don't know, maybe he was fucking doing something, right? He was putting something up somewhere. He was too distracted to fucking, he was too busy dilating, right? Maybe he didn't listen to this part of the doc. But EDP did mention that once the first story broke, right? This story right here, it was actually this moment right here. He said that all of his friends and family unfollowed him and they stopped talking to him almost immediately. And that's probably the main reason why Mike Clum could only get the only people who know him personally who he could get to talk were A, EDP's friend, B, EDP's now ex obese girlfriend, white girlfriend who didn't give him any pussy, and C, his lawyer, who said that EDP is retarded for doing this documentary and he shouldn't be doing it, period. Right? Those are the only three people who knew Bryant, who Mike Clum could get an interview with. Everybody else was like, no, I don't want to talk about that dude. He's dead to me.
Than just waiting for people to forget about it. Except when they tried to bring charges, they couldn't because of how terribly Alex Rosen had botched the investigation. Another thread to pull on if Mike had any interest in prevention and protecting victims would have been to confront people like Alex Rosen and later other predator hunters who are largely responsible for just enabling people like EDP, putting
how is he enabling
minors in danger and failing to put a real predator.
How did he enable him? Alex Rosen destroyed his career. Alex Rosen killed EDP's career. Like, did he fuck up the case and he managed to get him not in jail? Yeah, absolutely. He did fuck that up. Admittedly, he would say that. But he undeniably did completely ruin EDP's career, right? Like he lost views, he lost subs, YouTube knocked them off the platform. All these other platforms he wasn't even allowed on, they preemptively said, you can't come here. This dude completely ruined his life. Alex Rosen did.
Behind bars. Alex is asked how he feels about fucking up the investigation, but this dumbass just shrugs and basically says, hey, you win some, lose some, because these people only care about the clout they get from their videos, not what actually happens to predators. To underline.
And also, let's be honest. Do I want to see EDP go to prison before he dies? Yeah, I do. But the reason why, at this point, it actually doesn't matter is because he's had to live the last few years of his life in complete shame as a total pariah. Everybody knows he's a piece of shit. He's been suffering from cancer. He's had to be the ultimate wage slave, right? He's had to work like 10 full shifts, 2 full shifts a day for the last few years. Just so he can work, like has to work like 100 hours. Fuck it. He has to work 100 hours just so he can still be in debt because he has to work that much so he can afford dialysis. Because if he misses a dialysis appointment, he's going to die from cancer. So he's not long from this world. He's not making it to 2030. Like straight up, I do not see EDP still being on this earth come 2030. Trump is going to leave. When Trump leaves office, EDP is probably already going to be dead. He probably won't even make it to 2028. Probably won't even see the next election if we're being for real. So him going to prison or not really doesn't matter because he's already had to live. He already got the worst ending. He got literally the worst ending is that he's had to live the life he's had to live for the last few years and he's going to die slowly of cancer. The best thing that happened to him was a football team in a city he doesn't even live in. They won the Super Bowl. That was the best thing that's happened to him. Basically, like, I don't know, ever since the cupcake incident, right? It's all been downhill from then, except for that one Super Bowl victory. So him going to prison because of the Mike Clum documentary would just be a symbolic thing for everybody else that he got the 100% worst possible ending that somebody like him could get, right? He got all of it. He lost his career. He had to suffer. He's been up to his eyeballs in debt. He has to work 2 long jobs, right? Got to be up at like 4 in the morning. No, wait, no. Does he go to work at night? I know that he works over 12 hours a day. I know he does that. Dying of cancer, and he had to go to prison.
How spectacularly Alex fucked up, we get a needle drop and a hype
fly, Eagles, fly
in the desert shooting at documents like the text showing him to be a predator. Setups like this throughout do nothing but serve to underline how unrepentant and indignant he is in the face of his very real crimes, giving him a fun day out on the range that Mike followed along with, chumming it up with a predator so his documentary could have an excuse to fucking needle drop Creedence Clearwater Revival. Then Mike asks why hasn't he been prosecuted before performatively calling the Kern County prosecutor's offices on the phone live, as though that's how prosecutors work, having daytime convos with clout-chasing YouTubers. They don't respond, so this segment serves no purpose aside from showing Mike has no fucking idea how any of this shit works. If you actually want to hold EDP accountable, get a lawyer, build a case, bring it to the prosecutor, press charges, you dumb fuck. So then after...
that didn't age well. That didn't age well. I guess that is how it works, Mr. Troon. I guess you should have had a little bit more faith.
Other people, we get another hype aura entrance with the rising drums of Thus Spake Zarathustra to introduce Chris Hansen, the Methuselah of botched pedophile clout chasers who walks onto the screen like prime era John Cena coming out to the WrestleMania ring.
You make it seem like Chris Hansen had a lot more aura in his... I mean, he did have a lot of aura, I'm not gonna lie. But you make it seem like, damn, bro.
Now,
like he put EDP through a fucking table.
Is Chris here to bring EDP to justice? No. He interviews EDP a bit, throws some shit at the other rank amateurs like Alex Rosen.
Why are you reacting to this doc then? Or you dare say is clout chasing? Yeah, you're clout chasing a clout chaser, aren't you?
Steal his flow bar.
EDP, I mean, Mike Clum might end up getting this greasy fat pedophile. Look at him, ashy. Ashy piece of shit. Ashy fat fuck. Look at him, right? He might end up getting this dude put in prison. What do you get out of this?
for bar,
A
and
couple
is ultimately
views?
yet another useless.
You didn't even get 50K views, bro.
Conclusion that only serves to make people go, hey, a name I know is in this, to gin up even more sensationalism. The interviews are just Chris doing his thing, but at this point in the doc, him asking questions like, what did you think would happen at the meetup to EDP are fucking useless. Just
you know what? You're right. That's a good point. He couldn't even put the lotion on his legs, even if he wanted to.
Recovering the same ground. We know he's a predator. That's been established. There's no doubt. But without anything more to say than that in the entire doc, there's no real point to these scenes. He does ask some questions that, again, Mike should have already asked, like interrogating if there was nobody his own age.
You can't show people how some people are naturally and unironically evil. Got to have people cry on camera and have them denounce their own actions. Like a Disney movie, yeah.
EDP could have tried to get.
Because the takeaway from the EDP documentary that Mike Clum did is that EDP is just like, he's just a bad person. He's just like genuinely just a bad person. He's a pedophile. He's unrepentant about being a pedophile and wanting to fuck minors and shit like that. He has violent ideation, murderous ideations about wanting to kill the people who wronged him. Not just even the pedophile poachers who exposed them, but also the YouTube influencers who talked about him too. All this other shit, right? He's just like a terrible, terrible piece of shit.
And as Hansen gives his expert testimony with incisive comments like he is in trouble here, Mike cuts in a rendition of white person national anthem Sweet Caroline to really undermine.
He was just complaining that they weren't going at the pedo angle hard enough. Now he's complaining that they didn't talk about other things.
And once more, that he's taking this situation super seriously, guys. So then Mike gets to the point that should have been made 10 minutes in, not almost 40, that the case would have been unprosecutable because the catfish made the first move on EDP. He also alleges that Alex Rosen got the views he wanted, as Mike has Alex literally reenact villainously laughing while flipping through $100 bills like Scrooge McDuck in case you...
That was so fucking funny, bro. Like Mike Clum just said, hey, Alex, can you just like do a money spread for us? Can you just fucking dab on these broke niggas on camera for me? And Alex was like, of course, bro. I was going to do that anyway. Cause you know, I'm Jewish. I always do my my daily money spread meditation around this time anyway. You actually came at a good time. Sure, you can just film me real quick.
Never had doubts about what a piece of shit Rosen is. I mean, Mike doesn't seem to call attention to it too much, aside from letting Chris Hansen tear into him and other amateurs. For all that's worth, from the guy that botched Onision, I don't know, maybe he was called in as an expert on letting predators away.
That's the secret. That's the secret to Jews having so much money, right? They manifest more money with the daily money spread meditation. You guys need to do that, right? Just go to your bank account, take out a couple Benjamins, right? You ain't even got to spend it. And you just use that. You spread it on you, you count it, you lay it out on you. Maybe you throw it in the air, you make it rain over you, and you just like sit there peacefully. And you think about, what if I had like 10 times more of this? And right, and then you just like put it back in your bank account the next day.
And if you thought we had even touched the depths of Mike Clum's moral depravity, we start the third section titled Sex with a 15-Year-Old Girl. Opening with Kayla Hoskins, a girl who was used when she was 15 to try and again entrap EDP, who is now 18 when appearing in the documentary. Presenting this girl to the world without...
Oh yeah, the money guns, the money... Holy shit. Hold up real quick. There's that one thing. There's that one... There's this one video, bro. This one video that I once watched. And it was... This is the most Jewish thing I have ever seen in my life, dude. Genuinely the most Jewish thing I've ever seen ever. Let me see. Can I find it? I should know what it is. I've seen it before. The most stereotypical Jewish thing. Hold on, let me see. Solid Seth, thank you for subscribing, bro. Big ups, man. Damn, where is it? Do I not even have it bookmarked? Do I not even have it bookmarked, dude? I know where. Because I'm looking it up, all I'm seeing is just like Israeli war crimes for some reason. Which I guess makes sense because of the thing I'm looking up. Hold on, let me try a little bit more. If I can't find it, I'll just, you know, we'll resume watching this and I'll just get back to it in a second. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're just gonna have to come back. We're just gonna have to come back to that later. What's that thing you said? Look up BFW scare. Sure, hold on. I'll look that up in the background. Give me a minute.
Any degree of anonymity is wildly irresponsible, especially for someone who spent apparently 2 years tracking this world of seedy debauchery. There's no way she doesn't get an endless well of harassment from all kinds of awful people from appearing in this. Another thing I lay firmly on Mike Clum's head. But not his alone, as she soon unveils she met EDP online through another content creator, Gideon, who decided to then use this minor at the time to try and entrap EDP.
Now,
She
we went
recalls
over
how
that.
EDP
We actually
progressed
did go
from reaching
over
out
that.
Apparently, while
We actually did go over that, and admittedly, I'm not gonna say that he did a perfect job of completely explaining away everything that he did. Oh, he definitely did some inappropriate things there, but he wasn't just straight up using a minor to bait EDP into his shit. Like, he wasn't like actually doing that. He wasn't being that much of a clout junkie or some shit like that. So that was wrong. She was like over exaggerating. Also, I wonder, is Dead Domain going to bring up the fact that that girl also said that Gideon is a member of the Illuminati? She going to bring that up?
To then soon escalating the conversations to outright violent rape fantasies. She was 15 at the time, a child by any fucking definition, and as we find out, the reason this child continued interacting with a predator who was sharing violent sex fantasies was because 2 other adults wanted to use this child to clout chase.
Now, he did take advantage of the situation when it did happen. He did not do a good job of diffusing the situation. He went about it a very long way, but him initially using her as bait for EDP to come into his fucking Discord and shit like that, that part is actually untrue.
To succeed where Alex Rosen had failed. So Skeeter Jean and Gideon teamed up to try and do another sting on EDP, but unlike Alex, they didn't just use a real picture of somebody. No. Having this minor eventually actually send actual nude photos to EDP. Though Gideon doesn't take credit for that and says she did it on her own, the fact that this child at the time was put in that position and constantly encouraged to do it, to me, lays the blame firmly at the content creator's feet. Gideon tries to cover his ass by saying he would check in with Kayla, making sure she was still okay and wanted to move forward with the sting. But you have to be
bro. That's not what you're supposed to do. That is retarded. Like, him doing that shit, like, what? No, bro. You're supposed to just straight up, like, completely shut that down right away.
Level dumbass to think that's an acceptable excuse. In what world?
She never took nudes, right? Well, Gideon said he never told her to send nudes. He told her to never, ever send anything appropriate to her. He said, and then she said that I did send him something, but it was a Photoshop of my face over it. And then EDP said he got photos and stuff like that of her that she sent. So I don't know. Like, it's 3 different people saying 3 different things. So here's the thing. They're all unreliable narrators, though.
Would you ever, as an adult, take the word of a 15-year-old at face value about...
Regardless, EDP did end up... EDP even having access to that shit and requesting it, period, alone is a crime, so it doesn't really matter.
Anything. That is a mind that's literally not fully formed, not able to make their own legal decisions. And here's a stranger on the internet encouraging her to string along a pedophile so they can make fucking content on it. In the process, we find out that EDP, who owns several guns, made multiple violent death threats to this girl upon finding some of this out. So they've additionally put her in the way of possibly quite credible threats of violence.
But he did that before, though. He's always done that. Right? Which is also a crime. That's the thing that I was trying to warn Brian about. I was trying to warn King of Pole about during the Ravengate shit, where like he was trying to say, man, this fucking bitch, Raven, that dumb whore, I'm going to go to her place and beat the fuck out of her for trying to tell everybody that I'm a pedophile. I was like, Brian, you can't do that. You can't threaten to fucking assault a minor, dude. That is not a smart thing to do. It's not a wise thing to do, Brian. That's a bad thing.
And in the end, it still resulted in no charges. On camera, EDP admits to sending this child videos of him masturbating and receiving sexual assault material. And Mike even...
Take a 15-year-old at face value. What if they wanted to transition? That's a good point. We don't take teenagers at face value. Like, we understand this in every facet of life. Obviously, they aren't completely retarded. They do have their own agency. They do have their own ideas, right? But we understand their minds aren't fully developed. Unless they want to transition, in which case, they have 100% agency. They know exactly what they need to do. We should give them all of the tools to help them pursue this thing that's going to completely change the trajectory of their life, because they're going to be injecting chemicals to themselves while they're still developing mentally and physically, right? In that case, no, we throw that out. In any other situation, though, no, you can't take a teenager at face value, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
It includes him pontificating about how hot she is.
Thank you for the full send, Natty.
One of the most vile lapses of judgment includes segments where Gideon and Skeet talk about this minor as being interested in the
Skeet.
Sting, probably
his fucking parents name this nigga Skeet. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Who's being preyed on with their...
Like, he's half black. Surely the half black side of his family would have told the white half, hey, we can't name our kid Skeet. We can't name our kid. We can't have our son walking around here named Skeeter Gene. We can't do that to him.
Supervision was also...
Just name him Steven or something, not Skeeter Gene.
According to them, clout chasing. Upon admitting that Kayla now sees Gideon as...
How many skeet jokes do you guys think this guy heard growing up?
Someone else who used and abused her accurately in
They come up to the nigga, they point at his jeans, it's like, oh, you got some on you again. He looks down, there's nothing there. He looks back up. I fell for it again.
Respect.
Every day for all of middle and high school.
That's when Mike decides to have Gideon shoot back by alleging that the minor teenager was using it as leverage to boost her music career. And Mike then includes a scene of her saying, well, I'm an opportunist, but then her saying, when you're young, you have to make your own opportunities, and then she doesn't actually link to that thought, leading me to think this section was intentionally taken out of context, or something is missing, because she ends by saying...
Or maybe she's just dumb. Maybe she's just stupid.
This situation describing...
Like, did you not, because she's a teenager. Also, do you not know about the YouTube videos that she made?
The whole sting wasn't a case of creating an opportunity for her. So if that wasn't the case here...
Well, she was doing some clout chasing, undeniably. She literally said in the Discord, no, I want credit for this. Which, again, child, right? We don't, she has a little bit of room to be stupid like that. but she was trying to go for EDP's scalp because she wanted some clout herself.
There's no real reason to have her included for this moment, at least. It's an awkward cut. Yet, even if this 15 or 16-year-old was planning on using all these adults to clout chase a music career, none of that makes what these adults did okay. And by Mike including that segment...
Okay, well, that's fine.
It kind of seems like he might think that's the case.
Why would you think that? Why would you think that? What?
Like including that segment, it kind of seems like he might think that's the case.
You're just presuming these things? The fact that he put that in there at all. I mean, you see how you came to your own conclusion? You see how he lets you just think whatever the fuck you want to without him lecturing to you straight to your face? Without you like having to think about some shit. See, this is why they do what they do. This is why they have to lecture so much in everything, in their YouTube videos, in their tweets, in their memes, in their books, in the media that they fucking create, because they don't want to, they do this. People, they're afraid of people doing to them what they do to other people, which is that they just misinterpret their shit in the worst possible way because they're disingenuous by default. And they assume that anybody who isn't openly agreeing with them must be against them, right? Must be something fucking wrong with that guy.
So she's not admitting to doing all of this to clout chase. She very clearly says that's not the case. But the way the scene is framed makes it seem that way. And later in the doc, Mike has EDP go on a rant where he says, 15-year-olds on social media, they know what they're doing. They want people to prey on them, basically. They're old enough for adult sexual interactions.
Yes, he let the fucked up dude say the fuck. Like, what do you want him to do about EDP? Do you think he didn't want EDP to speak? Do you not want him to see? Here's the thing, right? Because I already know the answer is no. He thinks that EDP shouldn't even have a platform. Like he thinks Andrew Tate and other people shouldn't have a platform. But my thing is, it should be fine for people who you disagree with to have platforms. Because if you think that their ideas are shit, you should be able to easily explain that and get people to get it. But what it is that they're actually afraid. Like they say, one massive cope is the idea that the world has a progressive bias. The world has a liberal bias. That's why we have to constantly put our values at the forefront of everything, just in case you forget and you think differently. And also we have to deplatform everybody with a dissident opinion just in case you start taking up their opinions instead, right? Like they're so sure that their way is the way it's supposed to be, but at the same time, they have to constantly fucking propagandize to you and try and shut up the other people who are trying to talk to you because they're afraid their ideas might lose to them. It's all just insecurity. It all comes from insecurity of their own ideas.
Mike's framing,
like in their soul, they know that their ideas are shit. It's like I run a country, right? Like I'm running a country. I say my country is the greatest country in the world. I'm a great leader. I have a great government, but then I stop people from leaving the country. Why would you need to put in a policy to stop people from leaving the country if your country is so great? If your country is really that awesome, then you have the opposite problem. You have the problem that the United States have, or a lot of European countries have, where you have too many people in the country that you don't want there, who keep coming there because your country is so much better than theirs.
Because of the way he framed this girl who was used by other predators, the documentary is willfully playing into that bullshit narrative, depicting a victim of sex crimes as a self-interested opportunity.
It's like those celebrities who people were calling, I think it was Trump who said that Haiti was a shithole. And then because they had TDS, they had to go to Haiti and go to the nice little vacation resort spots to dab on Trump about how Haiti is actually amazing. And it's like, okay, well, you don't need to do that for a country where people actually want to live. I can tell that Haiti isn't amazing. I don't even need to look up the shit about the gangs that are literally barbecuing other people alive or putting to siege the presidential palace and shooting they literally murked their own president in Haiti, the gangsters did. I can tell just by the Haitians swimming all the way across the fucking Gulf to Miami just so they can be free. Be free from Hispaniola. That's how I can tell that Haiti ain't that great to live.
Instead of the reality that this child was manipulated by clout chasers and amoral content creators. So EDP apparently backed out of a meetup with Kayla, and Gideon hired a private investigator to stalk him and find a place to ambush him, undeterred. To show how serious they were, one of them showed up in a fucking cupcake outfit.
Yeah, they shit on him.
People who actually...
Why are you saying that this... Why are you talking about this as if people didn't shit on Skeeter and Gideon for this? They did. They got shit on for this in the documentary by other people in the documentary. It's like they fucked this up.
Take crime seriously.
They fucked it up worse than Alex Rosen fucked it up. Because at least Alex Rosen... He put the bullet in EDP's career.
Their first priority is always showing up to do it for the memes. They then get an extended back and forth about Skeeter and Chris Hansen, where they shoot back at one another about their unprofessionalism, because Mike is more interested in stoking drama than calling out how ineffective any of these fuckers are. Then we're back to Mike and EDP, where EDP alleges God saved him from being arrested.
There's a Haitian cannibal street warlord literally known as General Barbecue. Yes, literally. Literally, there is a dude. It's like Far Cry. Haiti is literally a Far Cry setting, but you know, there's not any fucking American. There's not some random American who just like drops in on the country to magically solve all his problems by killing the other warlords, right? Like, they don't have that. They don't have a Far Cry protagonist that's going to show up out of nowhere to save the day. It's just like, it's Far Cry, but what happens if the protagonist never shows up? Well, it's just shit, you know?
Arrested a second time. God apparently has a role in his life now.
Of course I know about General Butt Naked, one of the great heroes of the Liberian Civil War.
When did that start? Has he always been Christian? Is this a new...
Well, speaking of Christian, General Butt Naked, he became Christian. He found God. And then, after, you know, he did some of the most horrendous war crimes during the Liberian Civil War, a war that was rife with both sides committing a lot of war crimes. And then he went around, after he found God, telling people, hey, look, man, I know I did that shit to you. I fucking put you in this wheelchair you're in right now. But you got to forgive me, bro. You got to forgive me for putting you in this wheelchair, because this is what Jesus would want. Ain't that what, don't you think that's what Jesus would want? He would want you to forgive me for making it so you can't walk anymore. You can't even piss up. You can't even piss without somebody fucking holding you up out of your chair anymore because of you. He would say for you to turn the other cheek. I know I burnt that, like I fucking put a bullet through your cheek, right? But you need to turn that for me. I know it's going to whistle, but you know, you need to let Jesus into your heart and forgive me for doing that to you.
To try and turn over a new leaf, or just...
Also, you're going to vote for me in the next election because he ran for president too.
Try and excuse...
And he won!
His past mistakes. Again, none of this is interrogated. None of it's explored by Mike. It just passes into the ether because Mike is now more interested in spending the rest of the film's runtime turning a dangerous predator into a slice-of-life lolcow parade. After all this evil on display, Mike stumbles through several more subjects that seem...
I guess he really was. I guess Jesus really was on bro's side. It's like, yeah, man, I see. You actually did turn the other cheek. You become a new man. Sure, let me hook you up real quick and let you get away with everything.
Only to be aimed at making EDP sympathetic for some fucking reason. Detailing...
No, they're telling you what happened.
Life-threatening struggles with diabetes, interviewing a friend who claims he's a good guy. And
you know, this explains to me, this actually does explain to me why a lot of modern media, especially a lot of modern American media that is poisoned by people with the same type of brainworms as this person, is the way it is. Because they have the same media finesse that this person has. And they need things like, they need to beat you over the head with something. They don't understand what subtlety is. They're afraid to let the audience think for themselves. They don't think that the audience has any critical thinking skills. They think that if they don't spell out literally everything from like one beat to the next, the audience is going to lose control of the plot. It's basically yellow paint. This guy wanted Mike Clum to do the documentary equivalent of putting yellow paint everywhere. So your brain, your thought process would know exactly where to go. You would never have a stray thought when going through this documentary at all. That's what he wants.
Set up. And even interviewing EDP's therapist who's been helping him with urges. The problem with now, this late in the game, framing EDP as someone struggling with some kind of addiction or urges is that we know he's unrepentant, that he has made no effort to stop his rampant porn consumption or his deep disdain for women, that he doesn't see anything wrong with wanting to fuck children.
Yes, see, we know all that because Mike Clum let him explain that in his own words. You see? You see how he didn't have to lecture you? You see how just letting the subject of the documentary explain who they are, just like tell you who they are, right? Without having to say anything extra?
Like, it's too late in the game for this. Whatever. With no more actual through line.
It's almost like he wasn't actually trying to make you feel bad for EDP. It's almost like he was just trying to present you with the information.
To follow, Mike just throws some shit together for the rest of the run.
Bro is so low IQ. Like, that's what it is, right? This thing is that he's just too dumb. He's just too dumb. So he sees this documentary about this pedophile. They're making fun of the pedophile for most of the documentary. They get pedo hunters on here who also caught this dude being a pedo and helped ruin his life. And they're also shitting on him. And then he brings up the part where he has stage 5 cancer and he has to go to dialysis. And he's like, oh, he's trying to make me feel bad for EDP. No, retard. That is not automatically what he's trying to do. He's not trying to sympathy bait using this dude. That's not what he's trying to do at all.
Time rotating between EDP's dipshit brain-dead friend who claims the pedophile was set up before Mike goes to the most hands-down, vile, and evil thing I think I've ever fucking seen done for a YouTube video. I'll be honest.
All right, if this is what you actually think, if you think that this was actually the worst thing you've ever seen done for a YouTube video, then you're like, your media literacy score is very, very, very low, right? Like, you have not watched a lot of YouTube. You haven't watched a lot of streamers. You have not watched as much content as you think you have. If this is the worst you've ever seen. Because I still remember that one video of that dude who faked his friend getting murdered for content. I remember it. I forgot what his fucking name was. Right? But that shit where that dude, he faked that he and his friend got kidnapped and he got executed on YouTube. Right? And he did that for content. And everybody likes to blame Leafy. Everybody likes to point at people like Leafy. Oh, Leafy and his fucking clones. They're the reason why YouTube got ruined. Like, dude, there were niggas. Old school YouTube was fucking wild, bro. You had some animals on this fucking website, dude. Sam Pepper, yeah.
Fucking shocked. When I saw this on stream, I skipped.
Was it Queefy? Is that who it was? Let me see. Let me look it up. I doubt that the video is still on here. Yes, right? Holy shit, it's the same. Can I even find the original video? Best friend murder prank. Damn, I might not be able to find it. I might have to go somewhere. I want to watch the whole thing. I actually want to watch the whole thing because it's a classic, bro. He's queer. Let me see. Damn, it's hard. I can't ever. There it is. There it is. I had to go to Daily Motion. I had to go to Daily Motion to find it. I had to go to Daily Motion because you can't find it on YouTube anymore. A classic.
Kobe is. Hello guys, today I'm filming a crazy prank. I met these two Viners a couple of weeks ago and I've arranged to meet them to talk about filming a video with them. Kobe is in on the prank and Sam is getting pranked. Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
thought you knew where you were going. Let's just go like just a little bit more straight.
Yes, Daddy 05. Daddy 05 also way worse than Leafy. I think Jim made a video on Daddy 05, right? That family where literally they were abusing children on camera. Leafy was nowhere near the worst thing. I mean, sure, did he make fun of children? Occasionally. People overplayed it. Be fair, a lot of these kids were being retarded. I'm fucking justifying Leafy fucking becoming a millionaire by bullying children.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm not doing that. When's the last time we checked the oil?
I have no idea. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go check in the trunk, see if there's a flashlight, okay? Stay here.
In on the prank. See, he's in on it, bro.
No flashlight, give me a second. How do you... Yeah,
There's still monkey torture. There are still monkey torture videos on YouTube. It's just, you know, they're unlisted. You gotta go out of your way to look for them. There are certain communities who put this sort of stuff on there. So I can understand. There's a reason why YouTube has to have its bots, because people put absolute bullshit on that website all the time. So yeah, Google does need the bot auto moderation army to purge a lot of this bullshit. They just take it to a level where, I don't know, people get caught up in the muck. Like me.
Oh wait, I found it. We're good. Where's the oil thing? I don't even know where that is. Stop being so mean, holy crap, dude. It's hurting my feelings, holy crap. No, this thing right here is it, right? Holy crap, no.
Hey, it's a prank, bro. It's a prank. Like, I don't even know, what was the prank aspect of this supposed to be? Like, what was the like when they were coming up with this? When they were coming up with this, what was the prank aspect of this really supposed to be?
Get off me! Get off of me! What the fuck?
Just gonna bound and gag this dude real quick. Imagine if somebody came. Imagine if somebody showed up while they were filming. Maybe somebody did. Maybe there was somebody around who heard that and they're like, oh my God, somebody's getting like murdered or raped, or maybe they're getting raped and they're about to get murdered. And they just ran away, and they're just, that person doesn't know that this was all just some fucking gay video for YouTube to get a couple shekels off YouTube. So they're living with the horror of hearing somebody yell for help before they got brutally raped and or murdered. They left the tape. Bro, you left the tape. How are you gonna fucking kidnap and rape future people? You left your duct tape.
Fuck. Oh shit. Come on! Got him!
Like, I can't believe, bro, old school YouTube used to be crazy, dude. Dudes were doing whatever.
It's gonna be alright, dude.
It's gonna be alright.
I don't understand. What? No! You know, we're just kids from Kansas. You got the wrong guy. No! He's everything I have.
Bro, like, YouTube wasn't wrong. YouTube wasn't wrong. They obviously had to do something, because these niggas were going crazy, bro. Just like they were just going insane. The links that they were going to get a click, to bait you, to go viral, it was going too far. It was actually getting too much. Like, this is obviously fake. But even then, imagine a kid, right? The little teeny boppers who watched this video, they probably thought it was super real. They thought they had just like watched some live leak shit on YouTube. They had just watched some watch people die shit, an ISIS execution on YouTube, and they were probably for real traumatized. YouTube definitely had to do something. This shit it got out of control. And this guy is saying like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in a YouTube video. Man, fucking 2014, 2015 YouTube, that wouldn't have been nothing.
Forward through it, and I was still speechless. Mike Clum, you opportunistic profiteering fuck, you need to never touch a camera again. Let me set this up first. After documenting and following this depraved porn addict piece of shit who has told Mike about his rape fantasies towards minors, how he loves thinking about murdering and fucking children, who has had to go to therapy for being attracted to children, who Mike has documented as being somebody who wants to repeat offend, who at every turn continues to blame minors for his perverse fantasies. With all of that already seen in the film, already documented by Mike, what did Mike Clum think was a good fucking idea? Putting this piece of shit in the same room as children, as EDP.
That's not Mike Clum. Mike Clum didn't do that. That wasn't Mike Clum. That was EDP's friend. Why are you blaming Mike Clum for EDP leaving his friend alone, leaving his daughter alone with EDP? That's his friend. That's on his friend, bro.
His idiot friend brings his kids to EDP's house so Mike can film a performative scene of EDP interacting and playing with small children, including girls. This is as nursery chime.
EDP's friend, like, look, first off, EDP did not, Mike Clum didn't make this happen. The EDP has had access, I don't know why. I don't know why all these photos exist. I don't know why there are all these photos of EDP with other people's children over the years, why this happened. But this is not Mike Clum.
Music plays in the background, juxtaposed against EDP talking about how he enjoys playing with kids, including him going into detail on how he likes blowing raspberries. I do not have the words to properly describe my loathing for anybody.
You're just talking about how this shit is performative. This is your anger towards this is super performative. Like, you are not this angry about this. You're playing this up, buddy.
Who played a hand in bringing this into being. The wildly irresponsible framing of Mike until now has allowed for a sympathetic portrayal of an incredibly unsympathetic creature. And
who's this Asian nigga who's giving his kid to EDP? EDP probably has other friends who just didn't want to be in the documentary. If we're being for real, he had the one buddy who was willing to say, yeah, bro, yeah, I still fuck with Bryant. I come over all the time. I bring my kid with him. I'd 100% leave my kids around EDP any fucking day, bro. My man is innocent. He ain't do nothing.
That is a
he gonna beat the case. He gonna beat the charges. And then he's gonna beat cancer, bro. He's got a long future ahead of him.
You're on it.
Most unnecessarily optimistic nigga I have ever seen. Bro was like, oh yeah, EDP didn't do anything. He's not a pedophile. He's gonna beat the charges. He's going to beat cancer. He's going to live for a long time. He's going to be successful again. I don't know where bro gets all this optimism from, but there's no justification for it.
But this, putting actual children in the presence of an intended pedophile, putting them in close contact and filming it, if I say what I think, I'll be banned. I'll be honest. There is no world in which this was ever a good idea. There is no purpose here whatsoever aside from dangling the potential of abuse in front of an audience like a fucking carnival motorcycle show, hoping maybe somebody will crash. It's purely exploitative, putting real children in the presence of a predator for no reason aside from
Again, Mike Clum didn't do that. Like, he was just filming the guy. Like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna say, hey man, you can't do that. He can't tell that dude what the fuck to do with his kid. If that kid wants to leave he can't tell that, yeah, that dude wants to leave his kid alone with EDP, then he can do that regardless of how you feel about it.
Shocking it is, and the most shocking part is that Mike doesn't even have two fucking brain cells to rub together to see how this is directly enabling this predatory fuck. But this is apparently the end of Mike's interest in exploring the actual primary subject matter of EDP's predation, because next we just shift gears aimlessly to hearing EDP talk shit about some YouTubers they've performatively printed out in a fucking warehouse somewhere. Yeah, this thin-skinned loser incel has issues with people who called him out. Fucking shocker. And then, again, when EDP talks about how much he loves content from misogynistic and outright women-hating rapists and sex traffickers like Andrew Tate, there's no connection.
See, this is what I'm talking about. He just says rapist and sex trafficker Andrew Tate, but then you started off while saying that Andrew Tate shouldn't be platformed because he can make people misogynistic. You just called him a rapist and a sex trafficker. Aren't those worse than somebody being misogynistic?
Action drawn.
It's like the Alex Rosen thing, where like the worst thing about Alex Rosen is that he's racist, regardless of the fact that he catches pedophiles. Like that nullifies it, because to them being a pedophile and being a racist are equal crimes when they're obviously not. Calling somebody a nigger is not the same thing as raping a black child. They aren't anywhere in the same fucking league, right? Like I feel like if, let's say if a racist were to kill a black nigga, were to kill a nigga who was raping a black child, and he called him a nigger in the middle of it, well, that dude would still be righteous, right? Like the racism wouldn't hold him back at all. It would actually assist him in saving the child that dude was molesting.
Between those opinions and the effect they've had on enabling his predatory attitudes towards women and children. It's just another scene Mike thought would clip good and get spread around social media for more impressions.
He was right.
Nothing.
See, that's what you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand the game. Mike Clum knew. He's like, yeah, we gonna put this segment in because I know it's gonna get all the reactions. It's gonna get clipped. It's gonna get spread all over fucking Insta and Twitter and Facebook. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. And he was right.
Of any actual insight to the causes or attitudes of active predators, and therefore is useless in any documentary that might purport to be about advocacy or holding people accountable or, stopping these fucking monsters before they hurt people. And then over an hour in, we get a compilation of EDP talking about how he's an incel and he hates women and dating is a chore and it's just easier to live a life of endless laziness, misanthropy, and constant porn consumption. Yes, this is sad and pathetic, but by this point, the viewer is just numb to this depravity, so it doesn't even ring as criticism.
Not really. I love hearing this shit. I love hearing him whine about how much women suck, about how he's an incel that gets no pussy, about how, he's pedophile and nobody wants to date him, and he literally nobody, but he still thinks he's too good for a bitch with kids.
Just what
which is weird, right? You would think that a woman with kids would be a plus for EDP, but for he's like, I can't do it. My standards are too high. I can't get with a bitch with kids.
Hollow, pathetic life looks like. There's no deeper analysis, not tying these tangents together, just a sloppy assembly of scenes with spiffy camera lenses. Even as EDP describes in violent detail fantasies about dismembering and mutilating people who he feels wronged by, including the 16-year-old girl, the minor from earlier, Mike just seems to be following him around and chopping it up. Even the music seems...
Yes, he's doing what documentarians should, which is documenting the fucking subject. It's like if I'm taking, let's say, you kind of have to treat a documentary subject the way, well, I guess I'm the wrong person to say this because I don't do documentaries that side. My documentaries are more like they're character studies, or, I'm talking about a community, like community studies, or I guess in the case of something like Black Lives Matter, an organizational study, if you will, right? But I am largely just observing something in its environment and breaking it down in pieces. And this is what Mike Clum is doing with EDP. 2 years. He followed this dude around with a camera and he fucking just got all this material on him, let him speak, did some interviews, and he just let this creature exist in his own biome and broke him down piece by piece gradually over the hour and a half long of this documentary's length. He did a very good job.
Aimed at trying to lighten the mood, playing Ave Maria. And because Mike's only real goal is to turn a unambiguously dangerous predator into a sideshow, the last segments are all about him getting a girlfriend who it's revealed doesn't know he had violent, depraved fantasies and...
Yes, she did. Oh, Mr. Media Literacy. Your media literacy is showing, sir. Your media comprehension is very weak, sir. They literally asked him about it. They literally asked her about it. And she was like, the Brian I know wouldn't do that. She didn't know. She was just in denial about it with her retarded mutt shark ass.
A pedophile. And also criticizes him for his porn addiction. After a while, where this poor woman seems to have just been a...
Yeah, Chris, I don't think my documentaries, where people call me a documentarian, I always like the term mockumentary, right? I guess, but that doesn't count because mockumentary has a actual meaning. Mockumentary is like a parody of a real documentary. And I actually was making actual, or at least something like that. I would just say funny informative video essay is what I was doing, right? That's what I would call it. But it's, it's whatever.
Good partner, even talking up EDP as a caring person, EDP dumps her because, as he claims, she was annoying and wouldn't give it up. And we mostly end on him just being a lonely, sad...
That's the most justifiable, that's the most understandable thing EDP does this entire documentary, is that he dumps a fat bitch who was annoying and wouldn't like let him hit it. That was the most like, okay, I get where EDP is coming from moment this entire documentary. Like, imagine I'm dating a fat bitch. I'm buying her Wendy's and shit. And like, she just keeps yapping and she won't even like give me, like, what? Why is she here?
Piece of shit who now lives out his fantasies with a variety of AI girlfriends, sinking further into obvious AI psychosis and admitting to having the chatbots even role play as minors. So first with that, those chatbots need to be shut down fucking immediately if they're capable of role playing as underage people, because at that point, it's just a pedophile machine. Secondly, Mike
What do you mean pedophile machine? See, this dude is like, you know what his problem is? Is that he thinks that pedophiles are made but not born. When all of the evidence that we have about this shit, it shows that like it's actually not the case most of the time. Most of the time, you can have somebody completely healthy environment, no sort of weird degenerate sex shit. They never were molested or anything like that when they were young, never had a weird traumatic experience, and they just want to fuck minors. They just want to fuck middle schoolers. You got these women, right? You got a lot of these teachers in their 20s, late 20s, 30s, fucking 40s and up, and they're fucking their middle school students and shit. They aren't even fucking like the teenage boys who are like in senior or fucking junior year of high school or any shit like that. They're fucking 14, 13-year-old boys. They're in their late 20s and shit. You just have people who are pedophiles. And he's like, oh, you can manufacture a pedophile. It's a pedophile machine. No, bro. I'm sorry, but that's not how that works.
Is another
not most of the time, no. You actually can't groom somebody, or at least it's very, very, very hard to groom somebody into eventually growing up to be a pedophile.
Valuable chance at analysis here, which is comparing and contrasting how many people...
Yeah, he is telling on himself a little bit. Yo, you can groom somebody into doing any... No, actually, you can't. Why do you think that? Why do you think that you can groom people into everything? You can definitely groom people into a lot of things. Is there something that you had in mind that you're thinking about when you say that, when you give that opinion?
Live like EDP. He lives a disgusting, simple, hateful life, lacking actual human connection and substituting it with online dopamine hits and an overdose of ever more gratuitous pornography. At every turn, he is enabled by people like Mike, who only serve to normalize this lifestyle by portraying it without any attempts at actual critique. And
why would he critique it? Why does he need to stop and lecture literally everything? Why does he need to nag this dude? You think that EDP doesn't already know that what he's doing is degenerate and wrong? He knows that he is. He knows that being a pedo, he knows from the reaction he gets from other people why it's wrong. What is Mike Clum gonna do? What could Mike Clum say to this dude that everybody else who's ever said anything to EDP is gonna tell him different?
I wondered, how many Asmongold fans like this? How many Groypers?
Bitch! Oh, I shouldn't say bitch. Dude, where the fuck does Asmongold come into this equation? Now, Groypers, I can understand. Groypers, that actually does make sense because they are a lot of gay pedophiles within America first. So I understand that. What's funny, right, is that he probably doesn't even make that connection. Dead Domain probably doesn't even make the Groypers are full of gay pedophile connection. He's probably just saying that because they're alt-right Nazi chuds and not because of all of the degenerate sex shit that they get up to and the actual pedophilia and any of that other stuff. That's probably not even the main reason why he brought them up. Where the fuck does Osmongold come into the equation, though?
Are like this. There are so many lazy, hateful bitches on the internet with no higher brain function and no aspirations aside from complaining about women and yelling slurs while every night they go home to a disgusting, empty home and fuck their hand while they watch some AI.
Why are you even, first off, again, where does Asmongold come into this equation? Because Asmongold objectively isn't that. Asmongold has a girlfriend who, like, is probably sucking his dick right now. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
A cat girl.
It's like everybody I hate is a fucking incel pedophile. No, I'm sorry. Not every chud actually. There are some chuds out here who actually do get pussy. Sorry to tell you.
Pay extra coins.
Self-projection alert.
Dress up like their favorite anime character. Whatever. Mike.
Yeah, Dead Domain probably does think that Fuentes is white.
Yes, tries to have some.
Honestly, if Nick Fuentes was openly Latino, a lot of these dudes would have a lot less talking points against them. He literally could change none of his opinions. But if he was just like openly Latinx, if he specifically used the term Latinx too, he was openly Latino and he was specifically used the term Latinx, they would lose 90% of their talking points that they use against Nick Fuentes. Because all of the shit you could really go at Nick for, they either don't acknowledge or don't even care about. Like they aren't even aware that these are talking points against Nick.
Kind of circular interrogation at the end, giving a few brief minutes for EDP to, like, again, as I said earlier, claim that minors know what they're doing and that their brains are fully formed. As Mike cuts to a clinical psychologist, again, we decide to bring an actual expert in like 8 minutes to the end of the film, who gives testimony saying, no, children don't actually have fully formed brains. They can't make those decisions. No fuck.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Actual expert in like 8 minutes to the end of the film, who gives testimony saying, no, children don't actually have fully formed brains. They can't make those decisions.
Man, I wonder if there's anything else. I wonder if there's anything else we could apply this to. I mean, obviously, having sex with adults, that's an easy one we could apply this to. But I wonder if there's anything else we could apply. Children actually don't have fully formed brains. We can't allow them to make that sort of decision. I wonder if there's anything else we could possibly apply that to. I wonder.
No fucking shit. Didn't want to have this conversation any earlier in the doc. Mike didn't want to try and explore this psychology at any other point. After over an hour of just letting the pedophile speak with no pushback. Just save it for the last 10 minutes. Okay, dude. And then we end with some compilation.
Oh, they're a Zionist? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Other lolcows and internet chuckle.
Progressive, trans, and Zionists in 2026. That's an insane combo, bro.
Fucks like Mudahar saying he wants EDP to keep fucking up and get caught. You fucking moron. That would mean putting other people in danger.
No, not necessarily. It could just mean that the documentary had its effects.
Stupid motherfucker. Or you have people interviewed with literally nothing to add, like Chris Chan and fucking Wings of Redemption.
Oh, he's Jewish? Oh, if he's Jewish, then that makes sense.
Because why not assemble the sex pest Avengers while we're at it? Again, there's nothing to be gained by having these...
Wait, what'd he say there?
Like Chris Chan and fucking Wings of Redemption. Because why not assemble the sex pest Avengers?
Sex pest? What, Wings of... Chris Chan, definitely. Chris Chan was a sex pest even before he fucked his own mom. Raped his own mom, for being specific. But Wings, what did Wings do?
While we're at it. Again, there's nothing to be gained by having these stupid, useless, dumb fucks like Boogie pop on the screen for 3 seconds to say EDP is stupid, except that Mike knew 2 things. All of these people are desperate and...
Cancer survivor. Cancer survivor. Now, come on, Mike. Was that tongue-in-cheek? You need to put some, you need to yellow paint that real quick. You need to put some fucking quotes on that. You need to put some hyphens around that one.
Out hungry whores that will just show up for anything on camera, and secondly, that their inclusion would get more attention. Treating just mentally ill rapists.
Wings hits his wife. I mean, I was like, I mean, you know, how does he hit his wife though? I mean, can we like go into detail? Like, what angle is the hit coming from before I judge this scenario?
Like Chris Chan.
I mean, I know he pushes his wife, but to be fair, he was very heated. It was hot outside. You know, she was really in his face. She was yelling. You know, he wasn't himself. He was in a self-defense situation when you think about it.
Marvel camp.
Maybe he was having postpartum psychosis.
Yo, God.
He does look pregnant after all.
I hate YouTubers. And that is it. I didn't care about Mike Clum's first documentary, the look at Boogie's sad life, because I don't give a fuck about him. But as somebody who has really tried and has done a lot of advocacy for victims, who has done actual journalism trying to hold predators and abusers accountable.
Okay, so you haven't really done anything then? Like, what have you done? You talked about how pedophiles are bad. Okay, congrats. Like, you did about as much as Mike Clum. You actually did less, because Mike Clum's documentary resulted in a case for a pedophile being reopened, and he might go to prison now. So, I mean, I guess you did something. It's good that you have nice thoughts, but what are you're trying to go like anti-pedo activism for anti-pedo activism. I'm sorry. I would have to say that not just Mike Clum, but all of these pedo hunters have technically done more than you in that regard.
Mike Clum's documentary work here is an unconscionably flagrant embarrassment to anything resembling journalism. Was
he trying to be a journalist? It's like there are people who complain about me like, oh, your documentaries, why you put jokes in? Why are you putting your personality in? Why are you being biased? Why can't you be more non-biased in your Because I'm not a fucking journalist, nigga. I'm just somebody making a video and I got my own opinion. It's like I'm making a video about Cometsgate. And it's like, why aren't you more non-biased against Vito and Dick Masterson and Ethan Van Sciver and Comet? Because I think that they're faggots, right? And the video was made because I saw the faggotry and I'm like, damn, I got to make a video about this. I got to fucking detail this shit. I need to go in detail about this shit for like 2 hours in a YouTube video. I'm not going to be unbiased. I'm not a non-biased journalist, bro.
Indescribably vile. And not in a way, like, there was nothing about it. You can look at something like Melania or Citizen Vigilante or fucking Animal Farm or any of the other pieces of shit I've seen this year, and you can be like, you know what? If you watch it with some friends, there's no good time to be had here is what I'm saying. You cannot wring a good time from this. There is no blood to be plucked from this stone.
You would have thought this was the worst piece of shit on earth, bro.
Something that should.
Like, I watched it. We all watched it. Did you guys have a good time watching the Mike Clum EDP documentary? Because I did. It was fun, right?
Genuine.
It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was a very well-made. Like, I could tell a lot of work went into that bitch, bro.
Involved charges for so many of the people who showed fucking up on here. And I can only hope that Mike Clum never even tries to show his fucking face in content creation spaces again.
Who are you? Like, who does this person think that they are? Well, I guess they don't know who they are because they call themselves trans and non-binary. So, like, they're fucking, what's the color? What is the name? Name of the color when you mix them all together. What's that called? Muddy, dark, gray, black. Combining all lights creates, no, it's not that. I guess muddy brown? Yeah, he's a muddy brown identity, essentially.
Fuck you, Mike. Fuck off, EDP.
Mulatto? Look, man, mulatto is like, that's like two distinct things coming together. Come on now.
Who had a hand in this.
Now, if both parents are mulattoes, like let's say one is black and white and the other one is like East Asian and Arab, then yes, you probably are gonna get a fucking then you can say that's something, right? You are like a super mutt, a super duper mutt. Those exist too. You got to just go to certain places. Like you got to go to certain parts of Louisiana and you can find these weird, well, I would say they're weird. They aren't like they're ugly, but like they're like part French, part Haitian, part Mexican, part Vietnamese. Yo, these weird super admixtures of everything. Defective detective. Yo, is that fucking Brian? Hey man, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the gifted sub. Dr. Umar Johnson with the 5 gifted subs. Holy shit, bro. Dr. Umar and King of Pole coming in with the 6 gifted sub. That shit's crazy. Thank you, man. Thank you. No, okay. What we got here? Oh, somebody sent that video in. Well, they didn't send that video. They recommended that video to me. It is. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Maybe I can find it still. I might be able to find it still. BMW burnout scares Jews. You guys want to watch some Jews get scared? Look, that wasn't anti-Semitism, right? He was just dabbing on him, right? He was just giving him a little bit of a spook. He wasn't trying to do no. It's not like he was driving a Hitler mobile. Now, if he was driving a Hitler mobile, that would be a different story, right? That'd be a different thing, you know? You know? Let's see. Well, we got this video. 2.5 hours. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit.
But people are desperate to take me down by any means necessary.
I am not about to watch all of this. Absolutely not. I'm not about to do that to you guys. We would be here for like 5 hours.
This dead domain video could be the spiciest that people have seen in a long time. Most people are not autistic enough to go through my live streams to find out that I'm actually like an edgelord alt-right type of person.
Please, dead domain, take the stage. The last thing I want to do is waste my time watching your content. You can waste dozens of your hours making a giant hit piece. I stand behind everything I've ever said.
I stand behind everything I've ever said.
Pyro Funko Pop, right?
Does that include the Fuda shit? Does that include that?
I have a few.
Were those the jokes? Were those the only jokes? The Fuda stuff?
Ebos too. It's like whatever. Synthetic Man's a soy boy.
My mom just got here, so I might see if dinner is an option, or if I'll have to make my own tendies. Want me to do like a?
Oh. There's not nearly as many of black male, white female as you would think. By the way, the toucan propaganda. Some of these cuckold subhumans need to stop watching their gay porn.
I'll drink a little bit more. I think that's what you guys want to see.
That's true, though. That is true what he said there. I don't know what prompted him to bring up black male, white female couples. But yeah, you look at the statistics, it's nowhere near as like white women actually date outside of their race at a lesser rate than white dudes do. Right? White dudes race mix more often.
It weirdly also combines with my strange fascination with eugenics, because the idea of Fuda is some kind of like alternative Ubermensch.
He can't get away from it. He can't get. Why is it every time, dude? Every time we watch anything to do with Synthetic Man, the Fuda shit always comes up. There's always some clip. There's a new Fuda clip every time.
To Abby to shove her giant Fuda cock in my ass.
You have to do things worse than Hitler to fix what's happening right now. Considerably worse than Hitler.
An affirmative action hire, blah, 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 you know.
See, you can already tell it's going to be a bad video because he takes some shit. Like, if you're going to shit on Synthetic Man, right? You would do the man-child or, like, weird gooner rant sort of shit. You would use that against them. But instead, they're gonna take the stuff like he said something edgy or saying we're gonna need a new Hitler to fix this, and he's gonna box that together with the Fuda shit. When really, if you just let the Fuda fetishism and the stuff about like his mom cooking him tendy slide, you can make a short little fun video just, you know, dunking on Synthetic Man a little bit. But no, it's gonna be 2.5 hours of him woke scolding this dude because he's anti-woke.
You kill. It's time to make it stop. Nobody says bigotry except subhumans. People who should be executed. Every single one of them, without exception. They need to face the wall. The pendulum will swing back when Larry Fink is decapitated on live television. Birth control with your hormones.
That's true. And also the thing about him like threatening, like, first off, those weren't threats. He's just saying that certain people need to die, which when was this video made? A year ago. No, this video was made before Charlie Kirk got murdered. So post Charlie Kirk getting murdered, I don't care like at all about any of this shit. Oh, Synthetic Man said Larry Fink needs to die for things to improve. Well, okay. I mean, a conservative dude who never advocated for anybody to die, who never harmed anybody, who never attacked anybody, he got actually murdered, like on live stream in front of his family and friends and shit like that while he was unarmed. And people just celebrated that. Fucking just recently, Hassan Piker was singing, "We Are Charlie Kirk." Hassan was, right? So it's like I'm supposed to give a fuck about any of these edgy things that Synthetic Man might have said about how certain leftist people need to die. I still don't think that people need to die over political opinions. I'm not gonna fucking clutch my pearls over this shit. Obviously, you guys don't care. It's not that big of a problem. Political violence is only a problem when it's happening to people who share your politics.
And it's made women attracted to twinks. Maybe this next hit piece will be the one that finally gets YouTube to do something about me.
And it didn't. It didn't, by the way. It didn't. It failed. So, okay. That was an interesting intro, which makes me wonder if he even made it. Maybe he got his editor, or maybe he did work it himself. Maybe I'm like taking too much credit away from him. But anyway, we're not going to watch any more than that because I feel like it's just going to be a waste of time. Going to be a complete waste of time. Probably not even going to be a good hit piece. Probably going to end up walking away thinking even better of Synthetic Man than we thought before. Let me see. So this is here, right here. Hassan singing "We Are Charlie Kirk." You know what's sad? That if Hassan had been the one who was assassinated, the one who was murdered live on stream, Charlie Kirk wouldn't have done this. He would have never have done this. He would have been one of the people disavowing it the hardest. Same thing if Nick Fuentes or any of Charlie's enemies would have died, right? He would have had some actual decorum about this shit. But you know, these guys, they don't give a fuck. Hassan doesn't give a fuck. They think it's funny. It's like that one, I say that Sam Hyde, that he's cringe these days. And he has gotten very cringe, Sam has. But I'll never take away those old bangers from him. And I'll never take away that one quote that he made, that remember, they want you to die, and they want your kids to be raped, and they want to take everything from you. And they're going to think that it's funny. And it's true. They do. When you die, it doesn't matter if you literally did nothing to deserve it, if it wasn't a self-defense situation, if you were literally just minding your own business, you didn't even have a weapon on you or anything. When you die, they're going to make fun of you, they're going to make memes out of it, and they're going to laugh about it, and they're literally going to sing songs about it on stage, on live stream after it happens, right? So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And it's why I don't take, again, I'm not advocating violence for anything because, you know, political violence, the people who do that, right? The people who actually advocate for political violence, but they pussyfoot around it, those guys are the biggest pussies. If you are someone who advocates for violence and you're really about that shit, like you got a militia, you're like, oh yeah, my rights will not be infringed. Yeah, we got some crazy motherfuckers in this country and we're gonna have to fight our way out. And you're really about that. Well, okay, I can have respect for you if you're really on that type of timing, because that's what that's the timing that the founding fathers were on. But a lot of these people, they're of the throw the stone and then hide your hand school, where they want to advocate for political violence tacitly or even openly. And then when the violence they want come, they play coy and act like they never said anything and that it came out of nowhere. Like these dudes, they've been saying these people are Nazis, Nazis need to be hit, Nazis need to be killed. And Charlie Kirk, one of the most milquetoast conservatives ever, this dude was touring around colleges, pro-Israel, super pro-Jew, literally had a black gay guy as one of his top roadies on him on his tour, right? He was the dude who was like the super duper fucking Nazi. And they finally got their one Nazi dub, right? After, you know, they tried killing Trump like twice. They finally got one. And then they just paraded around it while also saying that the dude who killed him wasn't actually liberal, even though he obviously had liberal politics and he was fucking a fucking gay furry, right? He had a gay furry boyfriend, all because he grew up conservative, right? So like they threw the stone, but they hide their hand, even though they're happy about the results and they celebrate it all the fucking time because they don't want to have to deal with the consequences of just openly being like, yeah, we want to kill you. We want to kill you. And we're going to laugh about it when it happens. So anyway, Hassan's a piece of shit, but we already knew that. Everybody already knew that Hassan is a piece of shit. And he says all the time, judge me by his enemies. But the thing about Hassan's enemies is that they're so diverse. Hassan's rogue gallery is so fucking diverse that I would just have to come away with the thing that he's the bigot that he accused other people of like being, because he has libs who doesn't like him. He has conservatives who don't like him. He has moderates who don't like him. Gay niggas who don't like him. Jews, Christians, Muslims, there are even other leftists who don't like Hassan. So I would just have to presume that he hates everybody. That you say judge you by your enemies, everybody's your enemy, nigga. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? You got Destiny and you got Nick Fuentes and you got all these other dudes in between and H3, all these people are your enemies. What am I supposed to say to that, man? Anyway, political rant. I guess it really wasn't a political rant per se, because I'm talking about like an individual. I'm talking more about, you know, prompted by this. Also, he keeps dressing like Mao Zedong because he's LARPing like he's a fucking Maoist commie, even though Mao 100% would have had this nigga strung up. He would have had him sent to a gulag, him or Stalin. Like, people like Hassan would have 100% been one of the first people put into a mine or the gulag or just straight up purged or executed by Stalin or Mao if he was around in those times. Because what the fuck is a communist or socialist society gonna do with a professional streamer? He's not good for anything. Maybe he can be good at propaganda, but he's not even really good at that, right? Because he's so dumb and he's so retarded. And anybody who isn't already prone to that sort of thinking can see through it immediately. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We got some other stuff that, let me see. Should we do it now? Nah, I'll save for later, because that's like, yeah, there's still that other thing. There's that other thing I gotta get together first. So yeah, fuck it, we'll do it tomorrow. Sure, we'll stream tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm still, I don't know, I think I figured it out. I think I figured out how the new format on that other channel, you know, that gaming channel, that definitely is in mine. I figured out how it's gonna go. And you guys can look forward to some content there. It's going to be interesting. I look forward to trying to figure things out as I go. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.